As Yimo's second sun was released, the range of the blue sun instantly increased while the red sun shone at places the blue sun didn't shine. In just a few seconds, the hundreds of cultivators who just came and the countless shadows were all covered by Yimo's suns. The evil spirits quickly melted and dissipated. Even from afar the cultivators could hear the sizzling sound. The evil spirits who already possessed cultivators were also melted by Yimo's suns in a short time. Not a single cultivator was harmed by the blue rays. The countless evil spirits hunting these few hundred cultivators were all completely annihilated by Yimo in less than half a minute. Even Shan Bingfeng, who knew Yimo's power, was quite shaken by this. She had been with Yimo since he annihilated Lightning Cloud Sect, but she never knew Yimo had such means. From this, it was obvious that he had more tricks in his sleeve. Cultivators who experienced annihilation divine damnation were indeed immeasurable. "Brother Yi, your son is too powerful," Silver Moon Pill King exclaimed. The two truth realization state cultivators were also shook. The rest of the cultivators were more shook. No wonder Yimo could annihilate Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect. Yimo put away the blue sun and just let the red sun hang above their heads. The blue sun was powerful, but it was too taxing on spirit sense. After eating a spirit recovery pill, Yimo just wanted to ask Silver Moon Pill King if he found the Heaven Demon Mushroom, and he saw Jing Ingmeng run over in surprise and joy. "Sister, I haven't seen you for a few years. You're already hollow spirit state peak stage." However, even Yimo could see the pride in her eyes. Her cultivation level had always been lower than Jingingli, but now she finally caught up to her sister and was also hollow spirit state peak stage. Yimo shook his head. Jingingming's resources were supplied by the sect while Jingingli found all her own cultivation resources. The difference was huge. Seeing a disaster transformation state peak stage protect Jing Ingmeng, Yimo knew Jing Ingmeng's status was much higher than Jing Ingli. Yimo wanted to laugh. "In a few years you will be far behind Jing Ingmeng. You're not bad, you're also hollow spirit state peak stage too," Jing Ingmeng said calmly. She didn't have the joy of sisters reuniting. She knew that in a while, her sister would never be able to catch up to her again. "You always never care about anything?" Jing Ingmeng murmured and suddenly said, "Sister, you should come back with us to abstruse sound sect to break through to body condensation state, right?" Jing Ingli looked at Yimo and said, "No. I'm planning to go visit Mou City and find an opportunity to break through there." Jing Ingmeng just seemed to see Yimo and quickly came up to him. "Huh. City Lord, you saved us just then, but I didn't even get to thank you and just talk to my sister." "Thank you, City Lord Yi." Then she paused and said, "City Lord Yi, welcome to visit our abstruse sound sect. If you go, I will take you everywhere there." When she spoke, the faint bodily aroma of hers passed to Yimo's nose. The tall chest of hers was already below his eyes. Yimo suddenly had a strong sense of disgust. This woman really knew how to act. He was clearly in front of her, but she made it seem like she put everything aside for her sister. Jingingli smiled and didn't talk. She knew Yimo too well. Jing Ingming's acts would only make Yimo disgusted. "Martial brother Yi, thanks for saving us." Ling Xiaoshuang came up and said. Qing Han and Qing Yi also came to greet Yimo. Jing Ingmeng frowned. If Ling Xiaoshuang didn't come, she would be talking with Yimo. Her tactic had caught Yimo's attention. "Wan Bei Xiao Fei, thanks City Lord Yi for saving us." An extremely young hollow spirit state middle stage also saluted with his fists to Yimo. Yimo found that this person thanked Yimo from his heart. This rendered Yimo a good impression of him, and he nodded. "It's not big deal." Xiao Fei was a familiar name, but Yimo couldn't remember it. At this moment, a beautiful woman on par with Jing Ingmeng came over and greeted. "Xiao Shirin, greet City Lord Yi." "Thank you, City Lord Yi, for saving us." "Xiao Fei is my brother. We're all sect members of Golden Sword Sect." Yimo remembered and blurted out, "I know, you're ranked 5th of South Peace State 10 beauties." Xiao Shirin. "Oh, your bother is Xiao Fei." The surrounding quietened down immediately. Xiao Shirin's face burst red. Her brother was more famous than her, yet Yimo remembered her first. This meant that Yimo was very lustful and like studying pretty female cultivator. No wonder his 2 wives were South Peace State 10 beauties. Ling Xiaoshuang looked strangely at Yimo. She used to think Yemo was lustful, but after the misunderstanding was revealed, she knew Yemo wasn't lustful. Yemo looked around and knew he said the wrong thing. Xiao Fei was a prodigy too. He was ranked 1 star the Golden Core State trial tablets until someone else overtook him. Xiao Fei didn't mind. If Yemo didn't know his sister was 5 Thoth South Peace State 10 beauties, then it would be strange. He thanked Yemo and saluted with his fists to Jing Yingli, martial sister Yingli. Long time no see. Jing Yingli nodded and didn't say anything. Jing Yingming quickly came up and said, "Sister, martial brother Xiao Fei never forgot about you. He always comes to our sect to ask about you." Xiao Fei blushed and wanted to find an explanation, but he couldn't. He proposed to Abstruse Sound sect many years ago, but Jing Yingli said, "You don't deserve me," and he left in shame. He felt he didn't deserve her indeed. Jing Yingli smiled at him. "Thank you, sister. I know, and martial brother Xiao is here." Jing Yingmeng felt boring and wanted to talk to Yemo when she saw Yemo only nod to Shan Bingfeng and then walk towards Silver Moon Pill King, so she could only stop there. Yemo's spirit sense noticed Guan Tian Pill King's situation. It wasn't good. His essence, qi, and spirit were all depleted. He instantly sealed his soul when the demonic qi invaded, so he was like a living dead now. Silver Moon Chen Bei. How is Guan Tian Pill King? Yemo was worried. Shin Guanqing helped him very much, and plus, the use of a level 7 Pill King was immeasurable to Mou City. Demonic Qi Invasion, Soul Seal, Sea of Consciousness Seal. Luckily I found Heaven Demon Mushroom. Yemo interrupted in surprise and joy. Silver Moon Chen Bei. You already found Heaven Demon Mushroom? Yemo knew that this meant Shin Guanqing was pretty much healed. It could awaken Shin Guanqing and remedy the demonic qi in his soul. Yu Chichao side, although I'm level 8 Pill King, Mushroom Dissolve Pill is Heaven Grade level 9 Pill. I only found 1 Heaven Demon Mushroom. I'm not sure if I can concoct the pill. Hearing this, Yemo laughed. Silver Moon Chen Bei, don't worry. I'm level 9 Pill King already. It's not problem for me. You're already level 9 Pill King? Silver Moon Pill King got up abruptly and asked desperately. His voice instantly spread everywhere. At this moment, everyone knew Yemo was level 9 Pill King. Even those cultivator who heard it already were shocked again. How long has it been since Luoyu continent had a level 9 Pill King? Didn't this mean there would only be more and more truth realization state cultivators from now on? At this moment, almost every cultivator was full of respect towards Yemo. Yemo saved them, and now being a level 9 Pill King, he gave them hope. Many cultivators even dreamed of buying a truth spirit pill at Mou City after reaching disaster transformation state peak stage. Without Yemo, the majority of the cultivators wouldn't be able to escape the hunt of the evil spirits. Only a few rare truth realization state cultivators or disaster transformation state cultivators with rare flame can escape. Those cultivators who thought Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds was only so realized that this place was still the #1 Forbidden Grounds and not a place ordinary people could come after the slaughter that killed nearly 60% of cultivators here. And there were only at the safest place, the plains. What if it was the Three Birth Bridge or Sand River? But at this moment, in this #1 Forbidden Grounds, there was a very strange scene. One cultivator was in the middle concocting pills while there were 1,000 or so cultivators watching. The pill concoctor was Yemo, of course. Although Mou City wasn't open to public now, their pills could flow outside. Now that he concocted Heaven Grade level 9 Pill King in front of everyone, it would be propaganda for Mou City. At least, it would let Mou City surpass Pill City in pill concoction and take Pill City's popularity. Although Yemo objected to unison of Pill City and Mou City, but he got inspired from this. He could build another city next to Mou City, and this would be the place Mou City sold pills and magic artifacts. This way, it didn't affect the peace of Mou City but also secured the Spirit Stone's income for Mou City. This was compulsory. No matter how powerful Yemo was, he couldn't supply the need for an entire city himself, and he didn't plan on doing so. After things settled, the Mou City cultivators could do business at the nearby city and find cultivation resource. Yemo believed with all those high-level Pill Kings in Mou City, it wasn't hard for the neighbor city to prosper. However, all the other cultivators were thinking about was that they could bluff about seeing the concoction of Heaven Grade level 9 Pill. The Mist Lotus Heart fire jumped in the Shin Nong Cauldron. The spirit herb in the cauldron melted. Silver Moon Pill King only had Heaven Demon Mushroom, but Emo had too much spirit herb. Level 8, Level 9 spirit herbs were ordinary things to him. Even Yu Qichao, who had seen enough high-level spirit herbs, were flabbergasted seeing all the level 9 spirit herbs Emo threw out. He was worried about Shen Guanqing's injuries and didn't really notice Yemo's power, but now that he settled, Yu Qichao found that Yemo's power had surpassed him already. His cultivation speed was already absurd, but even his spirit herbs were this absurd as well. Just where did he go? In just 15 minutes, people smelled the pill aroma. Emo used a few pill collection signs and brought out 6 milky white pills. This fast. Yu Qichao quickly took the jade bottle. Even he needed 45 minutes to concoct level 8 heaven grade pills, but Emo only needs 15 minutes for heaven grade level 9 pills. He opened the jade bottle and exclaimed in shock, 6 special grade mushroom dissolve pill? You concocted 6 special grade mushroom dissolve pills in 15 minutes. Emo smiled. He couldn't even keep count of how many level 9 pills he made. At the start there were still top grade, but now level 9 Pill King was like child's play to him. This means you can concoct immortal pills, right? Yu Qichao asked in more shock. Emo thought he didn't have immortal pill recipe. It said that immortal pills need top grade level 9 spirit herbs or even immortal spirit herbs. He didn't have these, but what if he did? Would he be able to concoct immortal pills? Silver Moon Qian Bei. Save Guantian Pill King Qian Bei first. Emo pointed at the unconscious Shen Guanqing. Okay. Yu Qichao remembered the most important thing was to save Shen Guanqing first. But the cultivators around them started to discuss. Silver Moon Pill King meant that Emo was beyond level 9 Pill King and could even concoct immortal pills. Ordinary cultivators didn't feel much, but the few truth realization state cultivators were very shocked. Level 9 Pill King was already very hard. It was very great if a level 9 Pill King can concoct low-grade level 9 pills, but Emo could concoct special grade pills in 15 minutes. Clearly this meant that his pill concoction skills were beyond level 9 Pill King. If he had immortal spirit herbs, then he might really be able to concoct immortal pills. Thus the other few truth realization state cultivators all came to greet Emo. Compared to their cultivation, face meant nothing. The mushroom dissolve pill was very effective. In just 5 minutes, Shen Guanqing woke up. Hearing that Emo was back and a level 9 Pill King, he was more happy. For hours later, Shen Guanqing recovered 30% of his power and got up. Seeing he was fine, everyone looked at Emo as only Emo could deal with the evil spirits here. No one dared to leave. Shan Bingfeng stood out and said, City Lord Yi, the demon prison Forbidden Grounds is filled with evil spirits. What do you think? Emo wanted to go Sand River to see if it really connects to West Extreme State Sand River. If it did, he would really want to go. There was a blue sand ditch there. Emo suspected that the number 1 flame of the cultivation realm, blue like morning sky, was there. He suspected that he wasn't the only one who knew it was there. Almost everyone in West Extreme State was suspecting. However, it was still there, meaning that no one could get in. After seeing Heartless Sea Yu Zizhen, he wouldn't think he is cultivation realm number 1. After all these years, blue like morning sky was still there. This meant that no one could go. But Emo felt he could go try, even though he might not be the strongest in the cultivation realm, but his body refinement was definitely the top. But clearly, he couldn't take all these people there. Thus, Emo said loudly, everyone. This place is filled with evil spirits, and you all know that once evil spirits come, demonic spirits would pretty much disappear. There won't be any more immortal demon crystals. Even if there is, so what? If contains immortal spirit chi but almost demonic chi. Own mistake and you might die instead. City Lord Yi, just tell us what to do. We will listen to you. One cultivator said. With this, other cultivators also conformed. City Lord Yi, you saved us. And only you can deal with the evil spirits here. Tell us what to do. Emo knew that many people didn't mean what they said, but this force was built. This meant that in the future, his popularity was on par with Silver Moon Pill King. Thus, MOU City surpassing Pill City was only a matter of time. Shan Bingfeng and the other few truth realization state cultivators all agreed. Emo immediately said, I suggest everyone leave here and I will annihilate all the evil spirits here. and then seal the demon prison forbidden grounds. City Lord Yi, we're willing to listen to you and go out now, but what if you're not here and those evil spirits chase up again? Own Cultivator asked. Emo smiled, of course I will accompany you guys out. Don't worry. Since I'm here I won't let evil spirits kill anyone. He was gonna send them out anyways, so he might as well make his words pretty. With this everyone clapped. Some meticulous cultivators felt Emo didn't stay here to annihilate evil spirits, but only Emo could survive here, so they could only clap with everyone. Seeing Silver Moon Pill King want to talk, Emo quickly said, Silver Moon Qianbei, I'm not staying here to annihilate evil spirits. I have an important thing to do at Sand River. I would be back in about half a year. If it goes on longer I will be fine. Please take care of MOU City. Emo wouldn't be dumb enough to stay here and annihilate evil spirits. How big was this place? Even if he killed evil spirits non-stop for a decade there would still be more left. Silver Moon Pill King nodded in assurance. Half a day later, Emo escorted everyone out of the demon prison forbidden grounds. There were already a lot of cultivators gathered here. After exchanging information, everyone thanked Emo and left. Emo gave Yu Eru, Lu Xiaozhen and Cheng Nana a storage ring each and asked Yu Qichao and Shun Guanqing to take care of them. Jing Yingli chose to go with Yu Qichao to MOU City. Jing Yingmeng didn't find an opportunity to talk to Emo and could only follow her sect members and leave. Jing Yingli went to MOU City because she didn't want to go back to her sect, but coming to MOU City, she realized just how absurd the spirit chi here was. The three-way crossroad, Emo stood here again. He sealed the forbidden grounds shut with formation after sending them off. Emo didn't want the evil spirits escaping, so he used another extreme-grade spirit range to set up the formation. When Emo came at this crossroad again, he dazed. The red words Demon Prison 3 Birth Bridge disappeared. That black tablet was nowhere to be seen. Emo frowned, he charged into Sand River. No matter what went on in there, Emo didn't want to go back in there. He trusted his sixth sense. The danger in there wasn't something he could deal with now. Emo was very fast, but what he didn't expect was despite using mobility magic like crazy, he was slow like a snail. It was the familiar feeling on landing in someone else's domain. Emo was shook. He had never encountered this after reaching truth realization state. He used 5-element mobility like crazy, wanting to break free of this binding. Crack. Emo even heard his bone was cracking. He realized all he did was for nothing, he only moved half a meter. Emo calmed down, he knew if he continued like this, even if he died of fatigue he wouldn't be able to break free. Suddenly, Emo felt a powerful force. In just a moment, he was like a small leaf in a ravaging wave. The instant he was taken away, Emo didn't dare to keep thinking and went into the golden page world while throwing out a surveillance formation. Everything calmed down. Emo didn't even have the mood to check the seal flag. He was thinking what took him away so easily. Looking through the surveillance formation, he saw that the golden page world was at the bottom of a river. There was nothing around him. He could occasionally see a few fractured magic artifacts. This was the Bone River. Emo saw this and immediately knew he was at the bottom of the Bone River. Emo looked around carefully and couldn't see anyone nor evil spirits. The power that swooped him down was nowhere to be seen. Emo sighed. He didn't know what power dragged him down, but if he wasn't God's state body refinement and had golden page world, that would be enough to shatter him. Emo suspected that the bones and the Bone River were dragged down like this. Emo didn't go out immediately seeing there was nothing here. He walked near that seal flag. It laid calmly in the golden page world. The rows of immortal crystals dazzled Emo's eyes. Emo sighed, no matter what, his purpose of coming here was fulfilled. With all these immortal crystals, he could reach truth realization state peak stage without a problem. Emo counted roughly. There were 937 immortal crystals altogether. He gave 10 to Jing Yingli, so there were 927 here. There were some empty spots in the seal flag. Clearly they were used up immortal crystals. Emo collected them all and stacked them next to the bitter bamboo before studying this 8-trigram disc. It was made very proficiently. Emo had a casual glance and knew the maker was far superior than him in forgery. Emo seeped his spirit sense in, and in no time, he found a faint spirit sense mark. He immediately knew this was what could make the seal flag resonate with other flags and let it escape too. Emo didn't destroy the mark. He sealed the spirit sense mark. If one day he met the guy who made the trigram disc, he would be able to recognize through spirit sense mark. If it was before, Emo would think of a way to try and go up, but now he had 1,000 immortal crystals and the time formation disc. Emo decided to improve his power first. In an extremely grandiloquent palace in the depth of the heartless sea, an extremely beautiful middle-aged woman sat on the head seat. There were more than 10 cultivators sitting on the two sides. This palace was at the bottom of the sea, but there was huge water seclusion formation and spirit gathering formation here. There was an equally beautiful young girl sitting next to the woman. She didn't look very old. The woman suddenly looked at the cultivators and said, "I suddenly felt the calling of immortal ascension. I think Luoing cultivators can immortal ascension again? Palace Lord, you have this feeling too? So do I just wanted to say it." One cultivator quickly got up and said, The Palace Lord frowned and suddenly smoothed her expression. Elder One is truth realization state peak stage like me. It seems the immortal ascension tunnel of Luo Yu continent has really opened. If Palace Lord and First Elder Immortal ascends, what about the Ice God Palace? One cultivator quickly said. The Palace Lord smiled. I had the premonition that I was going to leave the ICE God Palace, so I've set Dai Yun as the next Palace Lord early on. I was really confused before, but now, it seems it's immortal ascension. Even if I leave, it's fine. Dai Yun will need your help. When you all immortal ascension to the immortal realm, I will celebrate with you all. She meant that if anyone harms the Ice God Palace and ascends to the immortal realm, she wouldn't let them go. Yes, we will help young Palace Lord at all costs. Those few truth realization state elders said. But Palace Lord, third young master. One truth realization state level 6 said with a little hesitation. The Palace Lord smiled. Don't worry. Now that they all left, they would accomplish something. Even if First Elder and I leave, you guys can decide it based on their accomplishments. Before the elders could answer, a pretty maid ran in worriedly. What's the rush about? An elder reproached with annoyance. Palace Lord, young master Yu's soul card shattered. The maid was almost about to cry. Slam! The Palace Lord smashed the jade table and got up roaring coldly. Who did it? The jade table split apart and turned into a pile of dust. But then, the Palace Lord realized this maid wouldn't know. When was this? The First Elder frowned and asked. The maid said shakily, just then, She wanted to explain things, but she couldn't say a complete sentence. The Palace Lord calmed down now and glanced at the shaky maid. Clean up and join young Master Yu. The maid's face went pale immediately and wanted to say something, but she couldn't say anything. Did you not hear me? The Palace Lord's voice went colder. Yes, yes. The maid said shakily. Then the pretty young girl suddenly said, Master, this maid is just guarding the soul guard. Young Master Yu's occurrence has nothing to do with her. I'm thinking if it's possible to let her. Everyone fell silent. The young Palace Lord hasn't even fulfilled her position yet and dared to break the rules of the Ice God Palace, begging for mercy for a maid. The Palace Lord's eyes grew even colder. She looked at the young girl expressionlessly. Dai Yun, remember, this is the first time and the last. If you dare to say something that breaks the rules again, then you can join the young master too. Yes, the young girl answered shakily. There was despair in the maid's eyes as she left slowly. The Palace Lord's icy expression and her extremely beautiful face seemed very eerie. She glanced at the cultivators and tried to calm herself down. Who knows where young Master Yu went? One truth realization state level 6 got up and bowed before he left. He researched some information at our library. It's all about the origin and past of our Ice God Palace. I think he perhaps went. You're saying he went to South Peace State to research the ruins of Ice God Palace? The Palace Lord interrupted the elder and asked. The truth realization state level 6 elder nodded. I believe so. Young Master Yu didn't want to fall behind and works hard in cultivation. Plus, he's deeply in love with Dai Yun Palace Lord, so I believe he really went to South Peace State. Atrocity, South Peace State's cultivation level is the head of the Luo U4 states. There are countless masters there, how can you let him go there? The Palace Lord reproached. The Truth Realization State level 6 knew the Palace Lord's reproach was unreasonable, but he still bowed. Yes. This is Lu Shiju's negligence. Who went with him? Palace Lord calmed and knew it was pointless to yell at these Truth Realization State elders. Lu Shiju quickly answered. He went with Lang Wei. Lang Wei just broke through to Disaster Transformation State level 2. Palace Lord sneered, able to kill Disaster Transformation State level 2 Lang Wei. It seems he's at least Disaster Transformation State middle stage. I'm gonna go South Peace State and see who dares to kill our Ice God Palace people. Do they think that just because we're hidden in the Heartless Sea, we can be abused? The Palace Lord said, Elder 1-1, during the time I'm away, you will assist Dai Yun in handling matters. The Immortal Ascension can wait a little. Dai Yun, I hope you won't make the same mistake as today. Yes, Master. The girl replied anxiously. Truth Realization State Peak Stage Elder 1-1 got up and said, Palace Lord, how about I go? No need, I'll go personally. If I don't kill this person myself, I won't feel assured. Lu Shiju can come with me. The rest can stay here. Perhaps our Ice God Palace needs to return to South Peace State. This can wait till after I'm back. Yes, Palace Lord. The rest of the cultivators quickly answered. In the bottom of the Bone River, a subtle gray bead was amongst the mud and dirt. This was Yimo's Golden Page World. His Golden Page World went from golden at Golden Core State to faint gold and then now gray. There were tens of extreme grade S in the middle and the time formation disk was operating rapidly. Yimo ate pills lavishly while cultivating with immortal crystals in his hands. On top of that, there was a spirit nourishing well next to the time formation disk. It could be said that, in the cultivation realm, no one could afford such lavish cultivation. Dense immortal spirit chi spread out, and even Shadowless, who couldn't be bothered watching Yimo cultivate, ran over like a sycophant wanting to take part of the immortal spirit chi feast. Crack! The immortal crystals in his hands broke, and Yimo knew he reached Truth Realization State level 5. Truth Realization State middle stage cultivation essence was so much more powerful than Truth Realization State primary stage. His spirit sense had huge improvements. This was him without using spirit sense cultivation method. If he had a spirit sense cultivation method, his progress would be even greater. Just when Yimo wanted to change immortal crystals for cultivation, he felt the time formation disk stopped. What was going on? He knew he probably didn't cultivate for 5 years yet. The time ratio of using immortal crystals was 1 to 100. 7 immortal crystals could supply the time formation disk for a month, meaning he could cultivate for 8 years in sped-up time. Was it that the more powerful you were, the faster immortal crystals were used? He took out another 7 immortal crystals and put them on the time formation disk. 2 years later, when Yimo was Truth Realization State level 6 peak stage, the immortal crystals were used up again. Yimo sighed. It had only been a week outside and the immortal crystals were used up. When he was Disaster Transformation State, 7 immortal crystals could last him a month in real time. The immortal crystals were being used up quicker as his power increased, but luckily the time ratio was still the same. Cultivating in the Golden Page World for a month, Yimo reached Truth Realization State level 6 peak stage. Yimo didn't keep cultivating. He had plenty of immortal crystals, but he was afraid he cultivated too fast, resulting him to ascend into the immortal realm first. He had to wait for Luoying and them's cultivation once he got back to Mou City. Yimo counted the remaining immortal crystals he had. He thought he would use at most 50, but he was shook at the figures. He used 178 immortal crystals. Soon Yimo shook his head. He thought before that if he had 10 more immortal crystals he would be able to reach Truth Realization State middle stage. What a joke that was. It wouldn't even be enough to support the operation of the time formation disk. He used 178 immortal crystals plus staying inside extreme grade spirit range, as well as all those heaven grade level 9 pills to reach Truth Realization State level 6. Otherwise, he might use up 200 or 300 immortal crystals. Luckily he got this many immortal crystals this time. Otherwise, how was he to reach Truth Realization State peak stage? Realizing how hard it was for him to break through, Emo didn't worry about cultivating too fast. Instead, he took out 7 more immortal crystals and began cultivating again. When Emo reached Truth Realization State Level 7, he stopped cultivation. He checked. When he stopped cultivation, the time formation disk immortal crystals usage went back to normal. This wasn't too absurd then. Emo put away the time formation disk and released the Mist Lotus Heart Fire. He had decided to see if the rare flame purple marrow could break through his heaven flame. If not, he had to leave now. He had wasted a month time at the bottom of this river. Immediately, he felt Mist Lotus Heart Fire's intense desire to devour the rare flame purple marrow. The blue flame swept it in. An explosion sounded in the Mist Lotus Heart Fire. Shadowless completely couldn't take this heat and fled to the side. Seeing this, Emo quickly stopped the heat of Mist Lotus Heart Fire expanding. In a few seconds, Emo saw that Mist Lotus Heart Fire started to change color. It grew to a deep blue and then pale purple. When it was pale purple, the terrifying heat finally eased up a little and the purple ore was gone. This really was material for upgrading Heaven Flame. Emo looked joyfully at the dancing purple flame in his hands. He knew his Mist Lotus Heart Fire was at the peak of the cultivation realm. Pale purple was some distance from deep purple, but Emo could already feel the power of the purple Heaven Flame. This meant that his Heaven Flame 9 suns could break through too. Truth Realization State Level 7. Purple Heaven Flame. Emo's confidence grew greatly. He got out of the Golden Page world and stood on the Bone River. The demon prison Forbidden Grounds was silent like a dead world. His spirit sense increased greatly too. When he was Truth Realization State Level 3, his spirit sense could only see within 20 kilometers, but now he could see up to 300 kilometers. Emo released Zisu. If he encountered that binding force at the Sand River path, he could break it open with force. Emo carefully came to the entrance of the Sand River again. Indeed, that powerful binding force swept him again. Emo hacked out with Zisu Illusion Cloud Domain Shatter Strike. Crack! Something in the air seemed to be hacked open by Zisu. Emo felt his surroundings ease up and he easily broke free from that binding. Standing at the entrance to the Sand River, he wasn't swept in again. At this moment, Emo felt the difference between his Truth Realization State primary stage and tertiary stage. Before, he couldn't even release Zisu and was swept in the river, but now, he easily broke free of that binding. Emo believed if he encountered Yuzijian again, he could easily kill her. Emo put away Zisu and looked at the entrance. It was chaos. He couldn't scan his spirit sense in, nor could he see. This was a formation. Emo was certain this was a formation to stop cultivators from going in the Sand River. This formation bound and through cultivators in the Bone River in the form of domain. This formation was extremely ingenious. Even he couldn't find the formation heart and could only break free with brute force. One could imagine what awaited ordinary cultivators in the Bone River, the countless evil spires. Emo looked around and didn't find any marks. He knew there was nothing he could do. He even suspected that no one could pass through this formation, not even Xianxia. This formation seemed easy to break free, but there was only one chance. Missing that chance meant being thrown in the Bone River. Even if you didn't die for the devourer of the evil spirits, the force of the drop was enough to kill you. Emo had interest in here. Was no one ever able to pass through here? What was the point of using such a powerful formation to block the entrance of Sand River? Perhaps there was some other secrets here. Emo had suddenly had some anticipation for this road to Sand River. The fine sands extended to very far. It was boundless. Emo stopped. The tunnel to Sand River was boundless. Which direction should he go towards? If this place really led to West Extreme State Sand River, perhaps he only needed to go straight. Thinking about this, Emo released Blue Moon, and just when he wanted to full speed ahead, 2 faint shadows appeared in his spirit sense. Evil spirits again, without hesitation. Emo threw 2 flames there and the 2 disappeared in a sharp shriek. Emo didn't care, but the shriek caused a deep growl. In a few seconds, more than 10 dark gray spirit beasts charged at Emo. They didn't have skin and seemed to be made up of fine sand. It seemed disgusting, but what was more disgusting was that their mouth was very big. Their mouth was larger than their body. Opening their mouth revealed a dark black throat that was all made up of sand. There was not a single tooth. Theoretically, their head was big and body was small. They should be slow in moving, but they were extremely rapid. They were pretty much all level 7 spirit beasts or above. Some were even level 10 and level 11. Emo frowned. Not because there were level 11 amongst them, but he felt his essence spirit loosen up as though it was going to jump out and get devoured by these spirit beasts. This was too strange of a feeling. Emo believed or ordinary cultivator would have already lost his essence spirit. Just when Emo wanted to release lightning sword, a few dark shadows came. Evil spirits again. But before Emo could attack, those spirit beasts charged up and ate the evil spirits. Emo clearly saw a level 8 peak spirit beast immediately grow in power to near level 9 after devouring the evil spirits. Emo looked back at the formation in shock and realized. This formation not only stopped cultivators from coming in but also let evil spirits in to feed these spirit beasts. If this was all set up by someone, how many spirit beasts were kept here? Soon, countless sand spirit beasts swarmed up at him. The weakest were level 3, but the strongest was level 11 peak. They were all coming at Emo. Emo shot out a few lightning sword. The spirit beast struck immediately turned into a pile of fine sand. There was no beast core nor blood. In these few seconds, more and more spirit beasts came and surrounded Emo. Some powerful spirit beasts opened their big mouths in the air, wanting to devour Emo. Emo didn't keep using lightning sword. Even with his powerful spirit sense, he wouldn't be able to use lightning sword to kill all of them. It seemed that the growl they made could call on more friends over. Emo knew that if this continued, he wouldn't even have breathing room. Without hesitation, Emo expanded his domain and released Zisu. Illusion Cloud Division Strike. Countless purple sword rays flew out slaughtering these sand spirit beasts. Every strike took out a few hundred to 1,000 low-level spirit beasts. Even the level 11 spirit beast couldn't come into Yemo's domain. Their method of attack was simple, just devouring essence spirit. This might be lethal to other cultivators but not to him. He was only not used to it at the start, but it didn't affect him at all now. The first strike was still dividing, but the second strike had activated already. There were more and more spirit beasts, but the purple sword rays were increasing as well. There were so many purple sword rays that the space here had turned faint purple. Even level 11 spirit beast couldn't last long after being sliced again and again. One could imagine how exhaustive on cultivation essence and spirit sense using illusion cloud division strike like this was. Emo didn't experience truth realization state middle stage and rose straight to truth realization state tertiary stage. He was used to the sudden burst in spirit sense and cultivation essence. As he used more and more sword ray, his cultivation essence and spirit sense was depleted rapidly, but it let him get used to his current power. Emo gradually immersed himself in this slaughter. He seemed to have returned to the time where he was attacked by countless earth scorpions in the herb valley. The sand spirit beasts here were countless times stronger and more numerous, but comparatively, Emo had an easier time now. He was truth realization state tertiary stage and his domain was very powerful. Even level 11 sand spirit beast couldn't threaten him. In order to decrease power usage, Emo shrunk his domain to a smaller size. Emo's domain was born from his force and will. It was much less costing on spirit sense and cultivation essence than ordinary cultivators. Despite knowing not being able to charge open Emo's domain, those sand spirit beasts still charged towards Emo like crazy. In the distance, there were more sand spirit beasts coming. The division sword rays were powerful and low-level spirit beasts died from a touch. It wasn't enough to deal with this many crazy sand spirit beasts. Eventually, some high-level ones became smart and hid away waiting for wounds to heal after being sliced once. For those level 10 and level 11 spirit beast, tens of sword rays were needed to kill one. The high-level spirit beast couldn't break into Yemo's domain, but they found a way to not get killed. Emo was getting into a worse and worse situation. Emo suddenly thought of his battle with Wuxia. He wondered how she would deal with this situation. Thinking about this, Emo was shook. If that woman could give her cultivation essence to her magic artifact and form a domain of her magic artifact, why couldn't he? Perhaps he could do it better, forming a magic artifact domain with Zisu's own killing force. His creative and understanding ability was so much better than ordinary cultivators due to the 3 birth chant. His will moved and Zisu suddenly changed, and turned into a huge-sized and just sliced over. The sword will and force expanded. Even places Yimo's domain didn't cover were enveloped by this purple crazy killing intent. It was an ordinary strike BTU after that. All the spirit beasts around him cleared. Only a few level 11 spirit beasts were still outside. All the rest were completely annihilated. Yimo suddenly opened his eyes and laughed. He finally understood what was going on. The next moment, he didn't even use his own domain and Zisu just jacked around. Purple sword rays didn't fly around. It was just ordinary sword shadows, and it only seemed 10 meters long, but with one slice, spirit beasts 100 meters were killed too. With a few strikes, the spirit beast crowd that illusion cloud division strike couldn't kill before were cleared. Yimo could even see the terrified look in their eyes, but even so, they still charged over like crazy. Yimo wasn't scared. He sliced Zisu around and his range kept increasing. Not a single sand spirit beast could live under such terrifying strike. There were countless spirit beasts attacking above Yimo's herd before, but now, there was not a single spirit beast above Yimo. If Yimo wanted to leave here, he could leave easily, but he didn't. Zisu flew around harvesting the lives of these sand spirit beasts. They seemed to have gone crazy. Despite being harvested by Yimo, they still kept coming over from afar. Yimo didn't want to leave here. He guessed that the spirit beasts here were kept by someone and the evil spirits and demonic spirits were their food. Those spirits couldn't leave certain areas, but these spirit beasts were endless and could survive under the un. He could slaughter them, but if these level 11 sand spirit beasts left the forbidden grounds, ordinary truth realization state cultivators were no match for them at all. How many truth realization state cultivators were there in South Peace State? Yimo estimated that at most around 1,000, perhaps less. But how many level 11 spirit beasts were here? Yimo guessed he had probably killed 1,000 already. Without a level 9 Pill King, how many truth realization state cultivators could there be? Even now, the truth realization state cultivators of South Peace State were a result of the foundation of 9-star sects. Otherwise, it might be like North Far State, it would be hard for there to even be 10. Even if all the truth realization state attacked these sand spirit beasts, it was useless. So Yimo had decided to concoct large amounts of truth realization state pills, just to increase the number of South Peace State truth realization state. He had to do this. South Peace State being powerful was not a bad thing to MOU City. Otherwise, these sand spirit beasts can easily annihilate the entire South Peace State. Without him, South Peace State would be annihilated if these sand spirit beasts came out of the forbidden grounds. Thus, Yimo charged into the spirit beast crowd instead. But there were too many sand spirit beasts here. Each strike of Yimo took away thousands of them, but immediately there would be countless more charging up. 3 days later, when there were no more sand spirit beasts coming over, Yimo sat down on the ground with a pale face. Even he couldn't take it anymore. He wasn't sure how many sand spirit beasts he had killed, but behind him was an endless mountain range, made up with sand spirit beast bodies. Yimo made a rough estimate. He killed at least a few 100 million sand spirit beasts here. There were more than 10,000 level 11 spirit beasts. He didn't dare to stay outside and went into the golden page world immediately. He shakily ate a few pills. Even in the life and death situations he had been in before, he had never completely depleted his cultivation essence and spirit sense like today. Yimo felt his hands and legs were shaky. If he didn't have the golden page world, an ordinary truth realization state cultivator could kill him. A day later, Yimo let go of the immortal crystals and got up. He completely recovered with the help of immortal spirit chi in a day. What made him joyful was that his cultivation essence and spirit sense grew some after completely depleting them and recovering. Yimo knew how hard it was to increase cultivation essence and spirit sense without increasing cultivation level at his level. Yimo left the golden page world and appeared on the desert again. He thought that perhaps this was a good way to improve cultivation essence and spirit sense. However, on this black desert, there was not a single spirit beast nor evil spirits. These few million sand spirit beasts could easily annihilate South Peace State, but they were slaughtered clean by Yimo. They charged up to their death like the evil spirits on Three Birth Bridge. This is good, however, Yimo murmured. If it wasn't like that, he wouldn't be able to kill them all. He wondered what the owner of the spirit beasts would think after seeing this. Emo flicked Zisu a few times. If he didn't learn a new move, he could only hide in the Golden Page world against this many terrifying sand spirit beasts. This is Illusion Cloud 8th Strike, Illusion Cloud Domain Kill Strike. Then Emo howled in joy. He put away Zisu and released Blue Moon, disappearing into the depth of the Sand River. West Extreme State Sand River. Ever since news of Immortal Ascension seal being removed, it seemed that the Sand River was a lot less dangerous. There were countless treasures in the Sand River. Lucky cultivators could find a few ancient ruins of the storage ring of deceased cultivators. Even if they didn't find that, they would benefit immeasurably from 1 or 2 top-grade material or spirit sand crystal. Spirit sand crystal was more valuable than extreme-grade spirit stones. It was nurtured after tens of thousands of years in the Sand River. It could be used to cultivate or trade. So when news that Sand River danger was lowered, countless cultivators and beast cultivator rushed into the Sand River. Teams were necessary, and so was the clear benefit pill. It was just a level 9 spirit pill and wasn't too absurdly expensive. There were little pill kings in West Extreme State, but some level 9 spirit pill master. Teams were necessary. The Sand River was barren. If you didn't have a team, no matter how many clear benefit pill you had, you would go mad due to the anxiety and loneliness. There were 10 times more cultivators in the Sand River than before. From Foundation Establishment State to Truth Realization State, none seemed to want to fall behind. The only reason was that there was a terrifying explosion near the Demon Lands. According to one disaster transformation state eyewitness, the explosion tore open the dimension. A radius of a few thousand km was enveloped in this explosion. A huge ditch formed in the Sand River, but as wind blew, half of it was covered by sand again. There was no strange thing that explosions happened in a place like Sand River, but the explosion brought out countless immortal crystals. Some were blasted to small pieces, forming thumb-sized pieces or even sesame-sized. But even one sesame-sized immortal crystal shard was enough for a Foundation Establishment State to break through. Because of this, the Sand River was filled. All cultivators came here for the immortal crystals. But after going inside, they realized that the Sand River was still the Sand River. One could still lose their mind. Immortal crystals and treasures were good, but it's only good if you had the life to enjoy it. Thus, after the first rush, many cultivators calmed down and went back to cultivation. But even so, there were still many cultivators in here. No one knew why the explosion occurred, but Cha Qizhao and Xianxia knew. They had seen immortal crystals explode out when Emo removed a seal flag. They were certain that a seal flag self-destructed. Xianxia thought. The first time he saw Emo, he definitely wasn't Truth Realization State. The reason he could reach Truth Realization State was perhaps because he got some immortal crystals from the second seal flag. That's why he was that fast. But despite knowing this, there was nothing he could do. He was no match for Emo. Luckily, he was about to ascend into the immortal realm. If he didn't forcefully hide his power, he would have caught the immortal ascension divine damnation already. When the seal flag self-destructed again, how could they miss this opportunity? 2 days flying in the blue moon, Emo found that the black sand had disappeared and it was black rocks instead. There were a few spirit herb growing on them. Half a month later, Emo stopped. He saw 2 ways again. One way was a place of sands and another was a river. It was a river with water. The crossroads was the end of the river, and this river extended into the distance. Abyssal River, Emo blurted out. When Yen Yen told him about the Abyssal Passage River, she said no one knew where it led to. Some say it was to the Demon Lands, but now he knew. It was indeed to the Demon Lands, or perhaps Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. Emo subconsciously looked at the other side of the crossroad and found in shock that Abyssal River indeed stopped here, but after this road, it appeared again on the other side. Emo spirit sense could chase to where the river led to. It seemed this place wasn't the final destination of the Abyssal River. If he had no business, he would even head down here to see where it led, but Emo knew he didn't have that much time. Emo put away the blue moon and wanted to go into the demon prison Forbidden Grounds through the crossroad, but as soon as he stepped foot, a few shadows charged at him. They were evil spirits. At the same time they came, Emo released Heaven Flame 9 Suns. The blue sun hung in the sky and those few hundred shadows were all instantly vaporized. Seeing this, the rest of the evil spirits retreated in horror. Some charged into the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, some went into the abyssal river. In the blink of an eye, there was not a single evil spirit left around. Emo felt boring. These evil spirits seemed much smarter than the ones of the Three-Birth Bridge. In such terrifying abyssal river and the demon lands, Emo found he was unmatched. Ever since Enter the Demon Lands domain, Emo just released his red sun. As he went, those evil spirits swept in by the Heaven Flame 9 Suns were all disintegrated. Only some faint red or dark red ones could escape. For these ones, Emo threw a ball of flame and they also perished. 2 hours later, Emo saw a fist-sized level 9 material Huang Strand rock and realized there were actually good things inside here. This was a top-grade forgery material. It was worth more to demon cultivators. Some demon cultivators were even willing to go bankrupt for one. How could Emo pass on such good things? As he walked he collected more than 100 Huang Strand rocks. In the demon lands that struck fear amongst cultivators, Emo walked around while picking up Huang Strand rocks. The evil spirits and demonic spirits saw Emo come and hid away quickly. Almost all evil spirits with self-conscious hoped this terrifying cultivator would leave quickly. There were too many evil spirits and demonic spirits here in the demon lands. They probably couldn't survive on the surface, so Emo couldn't be bothered killing them if they didn't get close. Half a day later, Emo came to a sand stairway like the entrance to the South P State Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. Emo knew that going up here was probably West Extreme State Sand River. Emo didn't keep collecting Huang Strand rocks, he had too many precious things. He felt it wasn't worth it to waste time collecting them. When he sped up from the sand stairways, he found another seal at the exit. But Emo could tell it was only to stop evil spirits coming out. As soon as he walked out of the seal, he heard a sharp scream. There were 5 cultivators before him, 3 men and 2 women. One of the female cultivators screamed, You came out from the demon lands?" One man stared at Emo in shock. If it wasn't that Emo had a shadow, he would have thought Emo was some demonic spirit. But if he wasn't an evil spirit, how could he walk out of the demon lands alive? It said no cultivator could survive going inside. Emo was confused. There were people here at the entrance. He remembered before that no one is West Extreme State dared to come here before. Plus, the strongest cultivator here was only body condensation state. Just then, Emo suddenly thought of an important thing. If the evil spirits in South P State Forbidden Grounds were to feed the sand spirit beasts, then what about the ones here? But Emo remembered that the place he came was filled with black stones. There were no place for sand spirit beasts to survive. Was it the abyssal river? Emo was shook. If there was something like the sand spirit beast in the abyssal river, wouldn't it also be a ticking time bomb? The 5 cultivators couldn't see Emo's power, and seeing that Emo frowned, no one dared to talk nor leave. Emo scanned his spirit sense out and found that there was an immortal crystal a few km away beneath the sand. Emo took a step and brought that immortal crystal to his hand. Immortal crystal. The 5 cultivators looked at Emo in shock. There was greed in their eyes. If they could see Emo's power, or if it wasn't that Emo came from the demon lands, they would have gone up to rob him. He casually found an immortal crystal? Emo was extremely shook. Was the sand river this wealthy now? Immortal crystals were everywhere. He studied it and found it missing a corner. Emo didn't put it away and looked at the 5 cultivator. What are you guys doing here? Are you trying to find immortal crystals? Yes, Qian Bei. The female cultivator quickly reacted and bowed. Emo asked in confusion, How do you guys know there are immortal crystals here? Last time I came from West Extreme State, there weren't immortal crystals in Sand River. Hearing this, their hearts skipped. Emo's words meant that he didn't come from West Extreme State and came from somewhere else. Who else other than Truth Realization State Cultivator could do that? Plus, they just saw Emo come out from the Demon Lands. They immediately gave up their desire for immortal crystal. The female cultivator quickly said Qian Bei might have just come to Sand River. A month ago, A huge explosion sounded at the entrance to the demon lands. That explosion covered nearly 1,000 kilometers, and even the void was torn open. Ever since then, many people found immortal crystal shards. Yes, because of this, many West Extreme State cultivators came to the Sand River to search for them. There's even a teleportation formation direct to West Cultivator City outside the Sand River. Hearing this, Yemo immediately knew what happened. A seal flag here probably self-destructed. This seal flag probably resonated to the seal flag in South Peace State. In Yemo's spirit sense, 2 more cultivators flew over. They were both disaster transformation state. Before the 2 even got close, they saw the immortal crystal in Yemo's hands, and one called out in joy, "Immortal crystals." Then, he sped up over at Yemo and grabbed. "Such good things should be used by me. You haven't even grown your hair out. It would be a waste for you to use immortal crystals." Yemo looked at him plainly and couldn't even be bothered using domain. He just grabbed with Cultivation Essence Giant Hand. Truth Realization State. That disaster transformation state middle stage said in shock and was crushed by Cultivation Essence Giant Hand. There was a little heaven flame in his Cultivation Essence Giant Hand, and so this disaster transformation state cultivator was completely disintegrated. The other disaster transformation state stopped and looked at Yemo in shock before speaking in a stutter, "Truth Realization State Qianbei." The other 5 cultivators were scared to even speak. Luckily, they didn't do anything stupid before. "Piss off!" Yemo yelled. He didn't want to kill people so easily. Hearing this, the disaster transformation state saluted with his fists and wanted to quickly retreat. "What's going on?" Before he could leave, another 2 dashing lights came. The disaster transformation state saw this person, and his face lit up. "Chong Tian, Domain Lord. I came here with Manager Shi to find immortal crystal shards. We found one and was robbed by him. Then he killed Manager Shi." The disaster transformation state cultivator thought that their endless forest's domain lord was here and this cultivator wouldn't be able to escape. He gets to make up the story. Hearing this, Yemo sighed. He was planning to let this guy live, but he was straight up lying in his face. He was asking to die. The 2 cultivators here were both Truth Realization State peak stage, and he knew one of them. The big man was the domain lord of the endless forest, Li Changtian. But Yemo didn't care. Even if Xianxia was here, he would still kill thy's disaster transformation state. "Brother Yi, why did you rob a Wan Bei's things and kill our endless forests cultivator?" Li Changtian knew Yemo's power and asked peacefully. The Truth Realization State peak stage with Li Changtian looked at him in confusion and then Yemo. He really didn't understand. With Li Changtian's temper, he would have attacked already when someone killed his men. Yemo smiled. "Not only did I kill that person, I'm going to kill the person next to you." Yemo's Cultivation Essence Giant Hand grabbed out and quickly grabbed the disaster transformation state cultivator. During this process, Li Changtian could only watch. He found he didn't even have the opportunity to rescue him. "Domain Lord, save." The disaster transformation state was shook. He didn't expect this young man to be this cocky in front of a Truth Realization State peak stage cultivator. "Yi." Li Changtian just said one word and the disaster transformation state was crushed into bloody mist. Yemo couldn't even be bothered using Heaven Flame. Li Changtian's face changed and stared at Yemo. "Brother Yi, what's the meaning of this?" "Ha ha ha. The domineering and prideful endless forest domain Lord Li Changtian really opened my eyes today. Nice move on being a coward." A crisp girl's voice sounded as she came before these people. Li Changtian sneered but ignored this cultivator. The Truth Realization State peak stage who came with Li Changtian, however, saluted with his fists to the female cultivator Wei Lanfeng. "Greet Big Sister Quan." This female cultivator just nodded and didn't seem to be very polite. Yemo had recognized who this person was. It was Snow Forest Pond Quan Luan. This woman took advantage of him at the Heartless Sea before. When he beat In Su, she took the chance to kill In Su and take his spear. There was a female cultivator behind her. It was Mu Feihuan. When he first saw this woman, she was Truth Realization State level 7. Now she was Truth Realization State level 8. Quan Luan didn't keep scorning Li Changtian and just stared at Yemo and sneered. "Yemo? People really meet again everywhere. You ran away at the Heartless Sea before. Today you can come with me to Snow Forest Pond. I need your help. Emo said calmly, sorry. I'm not interested. When he was truth realization state primary stage, he wasn't afraid of her. He was injured and with Su Jingwen and them, thus he didn't fight her. Yet, this woman thought he was afraid of her and dared to look for his trouble. Quan Luan said in contempt, that's not up to you. Seeing the conflict break out between the two, Li Sihongtian didn't keep talking. He wanted the two to fight. When Fang Yizong fought them the three of them were at a disadvantage immediately, but Yemo could beat Fang Yizong himself and not fear his divine damnation. Eventually, he forced Fang Yizong to Immortal Ascension. Even so, Fang Yizong still lost an arm. He was certain that two of them combined was no match for Yemo, but Quan Luan was different. He really wanted to see the two beat other so he could take advantage of things. Then, Quan Luan flung her hand and a blue shadow came out. It had a sword chi that instantly sealed the space around Yemo. Clearly, she was scared of Yemo running again. Feeling her domain, Yemo shook his head. She was much stronger than Li Changtian, but her domain was far weaker than Yu Zizhen. When he was truth realization state level 3, he could beat Yu Zizhen fleeing and spitting blood. Now that he was truth realization state level 7, he didn't feel any sense of challenge fighting someone weaker than Yu Zizhen. She then released another net-shaped magic artifact. She wanted to capture Yemo alive. To her, Yemo was a goat waiting to be scaped. She knew Yemo's value very well. His power was secondary, but he was a level 9 pill king. But when the net-shaped magic artifact just left her hand, Quan Lan felt things were wrong. Her blue sword didn't trap Yemo as she willed. It slowed down immediately as soon as she released it. Her net magic artifact couldn't even leave her hand. This was domain many times stronger than hers. Quan Lan instantly realized this. Only a cultivator much stronger than her could instantly bind her with domain. Knowing that she was bound, Quan Lan's face changed greatly. She burst her cultivation essence and wanted to break free while burning essence blood. Mu Feihuan had seen Yemo's power. When she fought with Yemo, she knew the terrifying power of Yemo's domain. Now that Grandma fought Yemo, her face went pale and was burning essence blood as soon as the fight begun. Even Mu Feihuan knew that Grandma was far weaker than Yemo. Without hesitation, Mu Feihuan used her clear moon dual blades wanting to help Quan Lan block a strike from Yemo, but as soon as she went into Yemo's domain, she was also bound. The only thing she helped Quan Lan with was to reduce the time it took for her to break free. The purple sword rays came and Quan Lan was scared soulless. She was a truth realization state cultivator about to Immortal Ascension and was invincible in the West Extreme state. Yet, she couldn't even last a single move with Yemo. Luckily, when the purple sword rays came, she already broke free from Yemo's domain and without hesitation, she retreated. Splurge, blood splashed and Quan Lan fell on the sand. A gash was across her stomach. If she didn't retreat fast, she wouldn't been cut in half from waist down. Grandma, Mu Feihuan rushed to Quan Lan and helped her up while eating a few pills. I'm fine, Quan Lan said with a coarse voice. She ate a few pills and finally stabilized herself. She looked at Yemo in shock. She didn't expect she couldn't even last a single move with Yemo. His power was too astounding. Was he even matched on Luo Yu continent with such power? Yemo didn't pursue her when she got injured. If Yemo did, there was no way for her to escape other than using a forbidden magic. Just one move and she was heavily injured. Her magic artifact was also in Yemo's hands. She finally understood why someone as cocky as Li Changtian was actually like a coward in front of him. A cultivator who passed the Heaven 36 domains was this terrifying? Like Quan Lan, Wei Lanfeng was also extremely shook. He thought that with Quan Lan attacking, Yemo, this young cocky cultivator, was dead for sure. However, Quan Lan only lasted one move and was almost killed. This was probably Yemo not even trying to kill her. Since when was there someone like this in the West Extreme state? How come Li Sihongtian knew his power but he didn't? What was going on? Li Changtian sweated cold seeing Yemo heavily injured Quan Lan in one move. He originally wanted to ask Wei Lanfeng to fight with Yemo, but now seeing the battle here, he knew Yemo was many times stronger than when he fought Fang Yizong. Before, Emo showed his power to be Truth Realization State Level 1, now he was Truth Realization State Level 7. You're powerful to this extent? Quan Lan said in disbelief and hesitated before saying, I admit defeat. Li Changtian and Wei Lanfeng glanced at each other in shock. They knew this Quan Lan too well. She was stubborn like a rock, but there was one day where she admitted defeat. Emo said calmly, last time at Heartless Sea. Before he finished, Quan Lan took out a storage ring and gave it to Emo. That person's things are here, I didn't touch it. Emo scanned his spirit sense and saw that red ruined spirit spear was still there. Emo didn't keep looking and just threw it into his storage ring. He was planning to leave here. The 5 low-level cultivators were completely dumbfounded. Whether it was Quan Lan or Li Changtian, Wei Lanfeng, and even Mu Feihuan, they were all very famous and each of them stood at the peak of West Extreme State. Yet this young man who crossed from the demon lands not only made Li Xianxia act like a coward, but even the number 1 master of West Extreme State couldn't even last a move to him. This was too shocking. If they didn't see this with their own eyes, they would have thought this was a joke. Emo looked at Li Changtian and asked plainly, Domain Lordly, do you have anything to say? If not, I'm going to go. Li Changtian quickly saluted with his fists. No. The 2 Wan Bais who offended Brother Yi deserve to die. If Brother Yi is willing to be a guest at the Endless Forest, I will welcome you greatly. No need for that, I'm busy, goodbye. Then Emo was about to leave. Mu Feihuan walked up to Emo and said respectfully, Martial Brother Yi, that blue sword is a heritage item of our snow forest pond. Please? Emo glanced at her and didn't talk. There was no way he was going to give the sword back for no reason. He didn't care about this sword, but this was his battle loot. Seeing this, Mu Feihuan immediately realized what was going on. This is a little gift from us. Emo took it and saw it was filled with piles of level 8 and level 9 spirit herbs. These were things he needed desperately. He immediately took the storage ring and gave the sword back to her. Since this is an important thing to you, then take it. I won't be unreasonable. Mu Feihuan took the sword and breathed easy. She was scared Emo wasn't willing to give it back. Emo suddenly felt he did something wrong. He didn't even ask Li Xianxia for some spirit herb. They must have countless. North Far State all herb mountain ranges. After the terrifying explosion many years ago, there were less and less cultivators coming here to search for spirit herbs. Those few who came here only stayed at the outskirts. At this moment, an extremely beautiful woman went into the depth of the mountain ranges alone. If Emo was here, he would see that the place she was trying to open was the seal that was covered by the explosion. He could also recognize that this female cultivator was Ao Chendai. She completely dug open the blue stairway and reappeared in the hexagonal hall. There were piles of bones underneath her foot. There were some ants crawling around on them, making this underground hall seem even more eerie. Chu Xiaoyi, the thing you want to do, I'm not going to let you succeed. Ao Chendai said to herself coldly as her voice echoed in the hall. Then, Ao Chendai charged back into the tunnel filled with space wind blades. She even released defense magic artifact to block it. However, for some reason, she wasn't attacked once by the time she walked to the end of the tunnel. Moments later, she came into entrance to the hall that was filled with fake light balls. However, the hall had collapsed so she couldn't go in. She took out tens of runes and put them at the entrance before going back the way she came in. With her countless years of age, how could she not tell it was a seal here? She was certain it was sealed by Chu Xiaoyi. If the seal wasn't damaged, she wouldn't be able to do anything, but it had been damaged countless times. She was certain she could break it completely with one move. Ao Qiandi stood at the hall and sneered, Chu Xiaoyi, I'm going to break your seal. I want to see how long you can hide for. Then, she released a huge round magic artifact and used tens of hand signs. As she used the hand signs, the space around her began to explode. Suddenly, there was a terrifying explosion at where she placed the runes. She immediately hid under her magic artifact. The explosion sounded wave by wave without stop. Eventually, even she spat a few mouthfuls of blood under her magic artifact due to the shock. She was also wondering how her runes could cause this non-stop explosion. It only broke open that hall. The explosions sounded for 7 minutes before calming down. The entrance she could go in before was completely collapsed. She put away her defense magic artifact and stood in the middle of this hall. He found that one face of the hexagonal hall was blown away. The seal shouldn't be this easily broken, Ao Chendai murmured to herself. She thought that the break to the seal should be in that hall, not this tunnel. She wouldn't care what the consequence of breaking the seal was. Even if all of the people in North Far State died, she wouldn't care. Ao Chendai frowned. Seemed she failed. Just when she didn't want to keep looking and was about to leave, there was an ear-piercing laughter. Ao Chendai thought, was this the person who was sealed? Perhaps she could work with him to kill that bastard. That guy forced her to have nowhere to hide. Suddenly, the space before her was devoured. Space devour. Ao Chendia's face changed and she immediately ran. She finally knew what was sealed here by Chu Xiaoi. It was nine-headed void devouring bug. If she knew this place sealed the nine-headed void devouring bug, she would never do this. She believed with her capabilities and persuasion she could persuade any sealed old monster to work with her, but there was nothing she could do about a nine-headed void devouring bug at all. But when she looked back, she couldn't find the way she came in from. Before she could leave from the fallen wall, she felt space around her collapse again. There was despair in her eyes, a bone-devouring pain. Ao Chendai pulled the clothes on her body, but even so, the terrifying pain was still there. The next moment, she disappeared with her surroundings. At the same time, a grayish-yellow bug covered in a sticky liquid appeared in the hall. There was still saliva drooling out of its mouth, but it didn't fall on the ground. The bug was 3 meters long and it had 9 necks. 3 of the necks had heads, but the rest seemed to have been cut off and there was just a layer of red. More disgustingly, there were countless red tentacles under its face. The 3-headed bug didn't leave. Moments later, a gray shadow landed next to the bug. The gray shadow looked around and laughed. Chu Xiaoi. Chu Xiaoi. So what if you sealed me Hong Yixing for 10,000 years? I still came out. When I find my things, it will be the moment you lose your head. I hope you're still alive. Suddenly, he frowned and said again, how can I feel the call of immortal ascension? No, I need to quickly find the few other heads. You've eaten one already? Then, he sat on the disgusting bug and patted its head. Go out. The 9-headed void devouring bug suddenly flew up towards the broken wall, and after another rumble, the 9-headed void devouring bug flew out with the gray-robed cultivator. The all-herb mountain ranges had the terrifying explosion again, but there were less cultivators than last time. Long Grave Hill. The first place Hong Yixing came to after breaking free was here. He hid something here, the Mist Lotus Heart Fire. The main reason was there was a place below here that was suitable for heaven flame growth. If it wasn't that Chu Xiaoi hunted him too much, he would have long taken this heaven flame already. However, when Chu Xiaoi sealed him, he didn't get the chance to take the Mist Lotus Heart Fire. There was no one here on a few hundred km radius. This place was very bleak and seemed very cold even during the day. At this moment, there was a sharp howl. Who dares to take my Mist Lotus Heart Fire? I'm going to eat you alive. Hong Yixing was a rather handsome man, but with this scream, his handsome features became distorted and turned very gruesome. Even the veins were popping out of his head. Of course, Yemo didn't know his Mist Lotus Heart Fire belonged to Hong Yixing, but even if he did, he wasn't going to give it back. Yemo was still very far from the blue sand ditch, but he already felt the intense searing heat. What appeared before him was blue sand for tens of miles. There was a huge ditch in the center of these blue sands. He couldn't scan his spirit sense in at all. The sand around the ditch had been baked to blue ores. These ores seemed very tough. They would be very good forgery materials for high-level forgery masters. The closer he got to the ditch, the higher the temperature, but Yemo wouldn't care about that cultivator. He knew that, with this temperature, an ordinary cultivator probably wouldn't turn to gas already. Coming here, he realized why the blue like morning sky was still here despite so many cultivators guessing it was here. If one didn't reach the master state of body refinement, he would never be able to come here. This was only the outskirts of the blue sand ditch too. One could imagine the temperature would go up exponentially as one went in. Maybe one needed 3 king states to go in. Emo sighed. He knew he was lucky to have come now. If it was last time, he would never be able to come in even with the help of the Golden Page world. The temperature wasn't on par with the void flame breakthrough. It was enough to stop any truth realization state from coming over. The blue sand ditch was bluish-gray. One couldn't scan spirit sense in at all. Even if one didn't use eyes, it was very eye-piercing. If EMO was still 3 king state body refinement, he really wouldn't dare to jump down. But now that he was God state body refinement, he believed that even if it was blue like morning sky down, it wouldn't be enough to hurt him without human interference. EMO jumped in without hesitation. EMO didn't even reach the bottom and that terrifying heat swept over. EMO used his cultivation essence and God state body refinement. A barrier formed around his body. With such terrifying temperature, he could only feel some temperature. Even so, EMO was shook at the temperature down air. It was only about 10 meters deep and EMO reached the bottom already. At the bottom, there was a huge blue boulder that was 50 meters in size. A flame like a lotus petal was jumping around in the center. It was blue on the 4 sides but pale yellow in the center. It was extremely beautiful. It really is blue like morning sky, EMO called out in shock. He was still extremely shook seeing the blue like morning sky here despite guessing it might be it. The value of blue like morning sky wasn't something ordinary cultivation realm flames could compare. Not even Mist Lotus Heart Fire nor One Purple Flame. One Purple Flame was ranked 2nd in the entire cultivation realm but only ranked 11th in the entire 108 types of flames. Mist Lotus Heart Fire was even lower, ranked 17th. But blue like morning sky was different. It was 1st in the cultivation realm and 3rd in all 108 types of flames. It was undoubtedly the king of flames. Plus, it was ranked 3rd not because it's weaker than the 1st and 2nd, but there was no number 1. The number 1 flame was evolved the 2 end to 10th flames devouring things. So, even if your heaven flame reached purple, it was only just the beginning in the battle of flames. Once a flame reached purple, it had to keep devouring materials or evolve through other means. Otherwise, it would only be able to dominate the cultivation realm but not higher realms. This blue like morning sky in front of him was still faint yellow. Clearly, it didn't appear for long. The reason there was a layer of blue on the outside was because it hadn't been spirit controlled yet. Once it was spirit control, it would return to being pale yellow and evolve based on the change in color. EMO also knew that if the blue like morning sky completely blossomed from the blue stone, it would leave and disappear into the void. He came just at the right time. In another few decades it might have hid itself. As for the blue rock, it was clearly material for breeding for blue like morning sky. There was a huge ditch here, so it was probably an asteroid. A flame that was newly born had such terrifying temperature. One could see how terrifying the blue like morning sky. EMO had great experience in spirit controlling flames and he was God state body refinement. Blue like morning sky was very terrifying for ordinary cultivators but not enough for EMO. Perhaps once it was green or aqua color would it pose a threat to him. If he wasn't God state body refinement, he would set up formations around it and use a slow method to spirit control it. But now, EMO just grabbed the flame with his hand and enclosed it in his hand. Blue like morning sky seemed to know it was grabbed and released more terrifying heat, but it faced EMO's hand. EMO just spat a mouth of essence blood on the blue like morning sky and tried to spirit control it. EMO truly liked this newly born flame. He spirit controlled it with essence blood so it would be easier to communicate with it in the future. The only 2 8-star sects of North Far State was Jade Woman Sect and Wang Yu Sect. But now, both sects had truth realization state masters. Tang Mengrao and Shan Di both reached truth realization state. Tang Mengrao was in solitary cultivation. She got a lot of pills from EMO and her disciple earned a fortune through the gamble at West Extreme State. She was about to break through to truth realization state level 2, but this strange annoyance made her stop solitary cultivation. Before she came out, her disciple Yuchan rushed in. Tang Mengrao had a bad feeling and asked desperately, "Did something happen?" Yuchan nodded nervously, "Yes, master." The all-herb mountain ranges exploded again. Then, a few sects in the North Far State were annihilated. Some ordinary cultivation cities don't have a single survivor. Tang Mingrao's head buzzed. She immediately thought of the seal Yemo enforced in there. Was the thing let out? Didn't Yemo say the seal could last another century? Wang Yu sect Martial Uncle Shan Di is here. Yu Chan quickly said, seeing her master still wasn't recovered from the shock. Tang Mengrao immediately knew that he probably came here because so many sects were annihilated. She couldn't even nod and quickly ran out. When Tang Mengrao saw Shan Di, she couldn't even believe the person before her was Shan Di. He was covered in wounds and didn't even have the mood to recover his wounds. He was like a headless fly walking around in the guest hall. Sect leader Shan, what happened? Tang Mengrao asked immediately. It's nine-headed void-devouring bug. I saw it with my own eyes. It already has 3 heads. My Wang Yu sect is over. It was completely devoured by that bastard. Shan Di said sadly. Master, other than Wang Yu sect, Lian Qing sect, Blue Sea sect, Luotan sword sect, were all annihilated for no premonition. Ganyuan city was also devoured. Yu Chan whispered quietly to Tang Mengrao. What? Tang Mengrao was completely dumbfounded. Tang Mengrao looked at Shan Di and was confused. He encountered a tough guy called Yin Su in the Heartless Sea and ran away. Now, he encountered the 9-headed void-devouring bug but could also get away. It seemed he had quite some secrets. Sect leader Tang, what do we do now? The 9-headed void-devouring bug has a master too. I don't think we're a match for him. Shan Di said. Tang Mengrao had completely calmed down now and glanced at Yu Chan. Notify everyone in the sect. We'll be sealing sect temporarily. Martial Sister Tang? Shan Di looked at Tang Mengrao in confusion and said, Even if you do, that can't stop the 9-headed void-devouring bug. Plus, I suspect the 9-headed void-devouring bug master is already truth realization state peak stage. If I was a little closer to him at the time, I wouldn't even have time to activate my mobility technique. I would have died Alria. Tang Mengrao nodded, you're right, but I didn't seal sect to hide. I have to leave Jade Woman Mountain or my sect would be annihilated too. The entire North Far State is in disaster. Where can we hide? Shan Di said and then asked, You're going to Pei Hai City? Yes. Other than Pei Hai City, there's nowhere we can hide from the 9-headed void-devouring bug, plus a truth realization state peak stage cultivator. Tang Mengrao said without hesitation. Then she added, hiding there is not a solution. Only City Lord Yi can deal with the 9-headed void-devouring bug. No one in North Far State can deal with it. You're going to South Peace State to notify City Lord Yi? Shan Di asked. Tang Mengrao nodded. I must go. Luckily the Qian Bei in South Peace State are prepared and set up a teleportation formation at Pei Hai City. Although there's some problems with it, it should be enough to transport me to South Peace State. Shan Di fell silent and nodded, okay. I received the heritage of Old Man Kong Yi. Even if my sect is annihilated, I need to offer my strength for North Far State. Go South Peace State. I will try my best to protect Pei Hai City. Tang Mengrao nodded. Pei Hai City is different. Even if that cultivator is truth realization state peak stage and has a 9-headed void-devouring bug, he might not be able to break in. Pei Hai has consecutive level 9 defense formation and attack formation. By the time he breaks in, I would be back with Yemo from South Peace State. In the West Extreme State Sand Bitch, Yemo kept spirit controlling blue like morning sky. The temperature outside it gradually lowered and the blue color dimmed. Eventually, there was only the baked stones outside. The instant he was about to spirit control blue like morning sky, the blue color he had spirit controlled suddenly exploded, forming a vibrant blue around Yemo, and this blue shot into the sky. But Yemo was completely mesmerized by the blue like morning sky in his hands. He didn't notice the blue color at all. Yemo reached out his hand and a flower like yellow flame appeared in his hand. This was the blue like morning sky. It was like a young girl that was about to marry and jumped around happily in his hand. This trip was too worth, Yemo exclaimed. If he didn't come here, this blue like morning sky definitely wouldn't be his. If one wanted results, one had to go try. His mist lotus heart fire was powerful, but compared to some more powerful heaven flame, it was a little lacking. Blue like morning sky was different. It was a truly powerful heaven flame. The instant Emo took control of blue like morning sky, the blue layer completely shot out, but Emo was immersed in his joy that he didn't notice. All the cultivators in Sand River were looking at the blue color in shock. Some experienced cultivators shouted out in shock, "Blue like morning sky has come to the world." It's said that when blue like morning sky comes to the world, the entire cultivation realm would be blue. This was a little exaggerated, but now, the huge Sand River was completely covered in this blue color. Almost instantly, everyone realized what was going on. There was only one possibility: blue sand ditch. At that moment, countless cultivators swarmed towards the blue sand ditch. They wouldn't be able to get blue like morning sky, but there was countless blue sand ores around it. That was top-grade forgery materials. It was better to collect that than searching for those immortal crystal shards. Blue like morning sky. Xianxia looked at the direction of the blue sand ditch in shock. He long knew it was blue like morning sky there, but even with his truth realization state peak stage power, he couldn't get near there. Now that the sky was blue, it only meant that someone took blue like morning sky. Xianxia charged Voer like crazy. The reason he stayed here and did an immortal ascension was mostly due to him wanting to take blue like morning sky. Emo sat outside the blue sand ditch. He even took the meteor that bore the blue like morning sky. He felt it was no simple thing. At this moment, the blue color had receded. Emo was pondering if he should get some more spirit herbs from Jiao Huanjin when multiple dazzling lights came. Emo immediately realized that him taking blue like morning sky was known by everyone. Although he didn't fear anyone, he didn't want everyone to know about blue like morning sky. So he released Blue Moon and disappeared. As soon as Emo left, a few cultivators came around air. They immediately knew blue like morning sky was taken away, otherwise the temperature wouldn't be this normal. But soon, they put that aside and joined the frenzy collecting blue sand ores. By the time Xianxia got here, even the sandstones were taken clean. At the entrance to Demon Lands, Li Changtian didn't leave. Quan Lan, Mu Feihuan and Wei Lanfeng didn't leave as well. They asked the 5 cultivators and knew Emo came from the Demon Lands. As the West Extreme State Masters, they really want to know what's going on inside there, but no one can go in and come back out alive. Now that Emo came from inside there, they could only ask Emo. They didn't know where to find Emo, so they might as well wait for Emo here. When the blue light shone over the entire Sand River, these people immediately knew that Emo came to take blue like morning sky. There was a bitter smile on their face. Blue like morning sky belonged to the West Extreme State, but Emo took it away. When they saw Emo later, they wouldn't even be able to ask. Thus, none of them spoke and acted dumb. Emo's Blue Moon was astoundingly fast. In 1 day's time, he came back to the Demon Lands entrance. "What are you guys doing here?" He was confused. Even if they joined forces, he could easily kill them all. "Brother Yi." These people were all silent. But Li Changtian said, "Demon Lands is the most terrifying place in West Extreme State. Never has a cultivator gone in and come back out. Brother Yi came out from there. I really want to ask about the situation. If we go in, would there be danger?" So this was it. It was fine telling them about it, so Emo nodded. There's a lot of evil spirits and demonic spirits inside. Ordinary cultivators will die for sure inside. I have Mist Lotus Heart Fire and it's very high level, so I'm not afraid of them. If you don't have high level Heaven Flame, it's very dangerous to go inside. Pil King Yi, may I ask where the Demon Lands lead to? Mu Feihuan asked the question everyone wanted to know. Emo nodded. It leads directly to South Peace State Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. Takes me half a month to get to South Peace State from here, maybe even faster. This distance is so much shorter than going by the Heartless Sea. There's a river near this entrance. I guess it might be the Abyssal River. I don't know where that leads to. Emo estimated with his own time. He didn't use the full speed of Blue Moon the whole journey. But if he went back at full speed, he would reach South Peace State in less than 10 days. Abyssal River is indeed below, Wei Lanfeng blurted out. Quan Lan suddenly said, I have a guess, but I'm not sure. I'll have to know after going down and seeing. Quan Lan then said politely to Emo, Pil King Yi. I thought I was top-grade power in the cultivation realm, but now I realize I'm a frog at the bottom of a well. In terms of power, I'm far weaker than you. However, the Demon Lands concerns the future of our West Extreme state. We're all about to Immortal Ascension. After we do and something happens at the Demon Lands, there would be nothing West Extreme state can do. So, I want to ask Pil King Yi to take us down there to see the danger there and if it would threaten West Extreme state. All the other cultivators clearly thought the same too. Emo didn't mind, of course, but after I reach the Abyssal River crossroads, I'm going to South Peace State. So I won't be coming back with you guys. Emo's intention was clear. When you guys went back, whether you live or die has nothing to do with me. Wei Lanfeng long heard Emo was level 9 Pil King and wanted to connect to him. He quickly went up and saluted with his fists. Of course, Pil King Yi. You're level 9 Pil King, so ordinary spirit herbs are useless to you. The endless forest has plentiful of spirit herbs. Here's some high-level spirit herbs. This is our gratitude to you for leading the way. He immediately gave a storage ring to Emo. He saw Emo could give up blue sword for spirit herb. He immediately knew that spirit herb were very important to him. Emo took it since it was given, of course. After he scanned with spirit sense, he was shook. Clearly, Wei Lanfeng selected them meticulously. There were level 9 spirit herb sha fruit and truth spirit grass. These were the main ingredients for disaster life pill and truth spirit pill, and there were quite a lot of them. This was a huge gift. Emo took the storage ring and thought for a moment and gave him 2 jade bottles. Thanks. Your spirit herbs is very useful to me. I have some pills for you too. Mo city lacks spirit herbs for development. These high-level spirit herbs were very rare. How could Mo not take them? Disaster life pill, truth realization pill. Wei Lanfeng called out in shock. Spirit herbs didn't equal to pills. Without a level 9 Pil King, these level 9 spirit herbs could only be eaten raw. The effects would be greatly diminished. Pills were much more precious than spirit herbs. He really didn't to receive such return after giving out some spirit herbs. Li Changtian and Quan Lan couldn't bear to watch anymore. They quickly took out the spirit herbs they had on them and traded with Emo accepted all. The pills could increase the power of West Extreme State, while the spirit herb would also be able to increase the power of South Peace State. After this round of exchange, everyone was happy. Emo got large sums of level 9 spirit herbs, while the West Extreme State people got the pills they wanted. After Quan Lan and them followed Emo into the Demon Lands, they realized why Emo wasn't afraid of the evil spirits in here at all. With Emo's Heaven Flame 9 sons, evil spirits couldn't even get close. All they did was run away. Due to this, everyone saw just how much evil spirits there was. They were like a black mist. Wei Lanfeng immediately stopped and saluted with his fists. I won't go, without a doubt. There would only be more of those things the further inside we go. I don't have Pil King Ye's rare flame cultivation method. On the way back, I won't be able to get away. Everyone realized this too. Emo could dominate here because he had Heaven Flame 9 sons. If Emo left, what would they rely on staying alive? Seeing everyone look at him, Emo understood what they wanted. He nodded. Okay, in that case, I'll send you guys out. One was because they didn't go very far, and second was because Emo got large sums of high-level spirit herbs from them. When they were back at the entrance again, Quan Lan said, Pil King Yi, thank you for sending us out despite the past conflicts. I suspect that the 2 sides of the Abyssal River leads to East Black State and North Far State. But I'm too weak to go inside. If Pil King Yi has spare time, you can go in and try. Perhaps it would be just as quick to go to the other states as South Peace State. Quan Lan really wanted to go to East Black State once before she ascended, but flying across the Heartless Sea wasted too much time. This was the second time Emo stood at the Abyssal River. It was calm just like when he came before and the countless evil spirits were gone. He hesitated if he should go along here to visit North Far State. His arrangement with Silver Moon Pil King was half a year or longer. Now was still very early. Emo thought for a while and couldn't resist going north along the Abyssal River. If it was similar distance as here to South Peace State, then he should arrive in 5 or 6 days if he went full speed. The main thing was that Emo was in North Far State and he hadn't been able to find her. The Abyssal River water was calm, but it was very dark. Even Emo's spirit sense couldn't scan very deep. Emo was desperate to go back to North Far State, and so despite knowing that the Abyssal River wasn't simple. So, Emo flew faster and faster above the Abyssal River. At the started, there were some fine sands and black rocks on the two sides, but after flying for a day, it was just mist. It was very obscure, even scanning with spirit sense. The only thing was that this river got wider and wider, from the initial 100 meters to now almost 1 kilometer wide. Emo had the premonition that he would reach North Far State in 3 to 5 days. It's only been half of the third day and Blue Moon suddenly sunk. There was a huge suction force from the Abyssal River. Blue Moon was sucked to the surface, and suddenly, there was a huge 100-meter tall black wave that wanted to drown Blue Moon. Emo had been through so much that these sudden attacks weren't very strange to him. The instant Blue Moon touched the river surface, Emo hacked over with spirit sense blades. At the same time, he felt Blue Moon been relieved and stabilized at the top of the huge wave. Suddenly, the river calmed down. He almost would have thought he was hallucinating if he didn't see the ripples in the water. Emo put away Blue Moon and released Zissou. He didn't suffer from the ambush, but it made him extremely unhappy. His spirit sense couldn't scan into the river, but Emo used illusion cloud formation kill strike. A huge purple sword rays sliced out a sword veil that was 300-meter long and 100-meter wide that shot into the river. Rumble. There was a terrifying explosion above the river. It seemed the river just lost a box of water. The water splashed out and Emo realized that the water wasn't black. It was dark gray. Because Emo hacked so fast, water didn't have time to refill back into the river, and thus the river appeared to have a huge ditch in its surface. Rumble. The water splashed back. Emo stood above in the air and didn't keep attacking. Just then, he clearly saw a huge stone platform below the river. It seemed ancient, as though it had been through countless ages, but Emo could only see one corner of that platform. Emo stood for a moment and then took out formation flags, setting up a formation here. That stone platform was eerie. Emo really wanted to know what it was for. Plus, the power that ambushed him came from the stone platform. A day later, a level 9 water separation formation was set up. As Emo threw out the main formation flag, the calm surface suddenly split in the middle as though being cut in half. This time, the water didn't come back and quickly retreated to the two sides. The rumbling continued for 15 minutes until the river was forcefully parted by Emo. Some evil spirits wanted to interfere but were instantly vaporized by Heaven Flame 9 Suns. After the rumbling sound, the Abyssal River was separated of an area 10 kilometers long and 1 kilometer wide. This section of the Abyssal River completely exposed in front of Emo. There was the familiar sense of chaos that Emo felt. Emo had the golden page world, and it was a chaos object. Emo had an instinctive feeling that there was a chaos item here. An ancient stone platform that was 100 meters in radius was completely exposed before Emo. In the middle was a huge 8-trigram disc. Seal flag disc. Emo called out in shock. You know quite a lot. This is indeed a seal flag. A sound suddenly appeared by Emo's ear. Emo was shook and octagonal cauldron appeared above his head. He asked heavily, "Who is it?" Emo looked calm, but he was actually extremely shook. With his power and spirit sense, he couldn't find where this person was. His spirit sense scanned out, but before he could completely search this place, a figure suddenly appeared before Emo. It was an extremely skinny middle-aged man. He stared coldly at Emo. He said coldly again, "Breaking the West Extreme State and South Peace State seal flag, making the chi of Luo Yu continent spill, and you even took one of my 8-trigram seal flag disc. On top of that, you killed countless sand soul beasts and setting up a level 9 water separation formation to reveal the platform." He grunted and said again, "You're a prodigy I've never seen before. Even in the countless magnificent cultivators in the immortal realm, I've never seen one who can match you. I believe you must have a lot of secrets on you. Otherwise, you wouldn't reach such absurd extent." Emo didn't speak, he was still in shock. He could see the power level of this cultivator. He was far beyond truth realization state peak stage. Meaning that he was a level higher than truth realization state peak stage. There were countless questions in his head. Those sand soul beasts were kept by this person? In that case, why didn't he stop him when he killed them? Judging by his words, he was also responsible for suppressing immortal ascension from Luoyu continent. Why did he do this? Since he did, why was he still at the bottom of this river? He also seemed to know everything he did, just what power level was he? You're not truth realization state cultivator, Emo suddenly said. The skinny man looked at Emo in shock. You can see my power level? You're indeed not truth realization state cultivator. Emo panted. It was probably this guy who ambushed him. Seeing that this man had no intentions of attacking, Emo asked again, your power is beyond truth realization state. Why can you still stay in the cultivation realm? Emo knew that truth realization state cultivators can't stay in the cultivation realm for long after reaching immortal ascension state. This was the law of the universe. When your power was beyond what was permitted by this law, you wouldn't be able to stay under the law unless you controlled the law. But controlling the laws of the heavens and earth, that was a joke, at least to Emo it was. However, this man replied calmly, when you're at my power level and at my place, you will know that you can't immortal ascension as well. There's something wrong with this dimension? Emo immediately asked. The skinny man said calmly, no. The laws of the heavens and earth has been changed. Anyone below hollow immortal can't immortal ascension. Not only can you not immortal ascension, but you also can't leave through abyssal river. You will know in the future. Your hollow immortal power indeed. This means you've been to the immortal realm, right? Emo asked in shock. He actually encountered an immortal who couldn't leave at the bottom of the abyssal river. That's right, I've been to the immortal realm. In a few hundred years, I would be able to return there, but because of you, I might never be able to return. Tell me, how should I repay you? The middle-aged man stared coldly at Emo. Emo regained his composure. This was too eerie, but it also seemed that this man didn't stay here of his own accord. He was probably bound here by someone else. Who did it? What was the purpose of binding a hollow immortal here? When I was passing by, you purposely attacked and drew me down here, right? Emo asked. The man said expressionlessly, that's right. Since you destroyed my path, I'm going to keep you here to make up for your sins. I'm going to mark your soul, and you will do things for me and then come back. Emo suddenly thought of the ancient chaos chi. He could still feel it now. You're guarding something here, right? Emo said and suddenly realized. Chaos items were more precious than the 10 great spirit items. The reason he locked the immortal ascension tunnel here was because he didn't want to spill the chaos chi bringing over powerful beings in the immortal realm. The middle-aged man stared at Emo in shock. You're indeed smart. You can guess that I'm guarding something here. But Emo still asked in confusion. You know I killed those sand soul beasts, but you're guarding something here. Why are you still keeping them? After you finish your mission, are you not going to ascend to the immortal realm, but instead dominate Luoyu continent? The middle-aged man seemed to think Emo couldn't escape from him and said after some silence. I didn't keep those sand soul beasts and evil spirits. My mission is just to stay and guard the platform. Everything else has nothing to do with me. Do you think that many sand soul beasts are needed to dominate Luoyu continent? The middle-aged man said coldly, seeing Emo starting to contemplate again. Emo agreed to this. With that many sand soul beasts, it was enough to annihilate the entire Luoyu continent a few times. Annihilate all Luoyu continent cultivators? Emo was scared by this crazy idea, but then he immediately realized his idea was not impossible. If all those sand soul beasts left the forbidden grounds, how could the cultivators of Luoyu continent not be slaughtered clean? Thinking about this, Emo's mind cleared up. A powerful being in the immortal realm sealed a chaos treasure here. As for why he didn't take it to the immortal realm, he was probably scared of being caught with it. This powerful being knew that if the chi spilled, everyone would go crazy for it. Thus, he sealed it in the cultivation realm and sealed the immortal ascension tunnel. As for those sand soul beasts, it was really probably to slaughter all of the cultivators on Luoyu continent. After all, if the space seal disappeared, then the Luoyu continent cultivators would be able to ascend to the immortal realm. Then, the fact that they couldn't immortal ascension would be brought up, and the immortal realm might send people down here to check. Then, they might find this chaos item. So, after the powerful being takes the item, he might really annihilate the entire Luoyu continent. Emo was scared by his conjecture. This was too absurd, but it wasn't impossible. You ruined most of Master's plan. Stay and help Master finish the rest, and you may be spared, the middle-aged man continued. Emo sneered. There was no way he was going to do that. It's probably your master who stopped the immortal ascension here, right? You want me to reseal it, right? Those sand soul beasts are to annihilate the entire Luo Yu continent, right? The middle-aged man stared at Emo in shock. No wonder you can reach truth realization state level 7 at such a young age. You're much smarter than ordinary people, but my master didn't seal the immortal ascension here. My master just set up seal flags that blocked the calling of immortal ascension. Now that you damaged the seal flags, the cultivators can sense the calling of immortal ascension. Seeing that Emo was dubious, the man continued, plus, it's not just Luo Yu continent that can't immortal ascension. The nearby cultivation realms also can't. Emo thought of Fang Yizong, the Black Rock City cultivators. They didn't come from Luo Yu continent, but they also couldn't immortal ascension. Then how come people can immortal ascension after I broke the seal flag? Emo definitely didn't believe those flags just blocked the immortal ascension calling. He was a level 9 formation grandmaster. He knew clearly that it stopped cultivators from immortal ascension. The middle-aged man also frowned and said after a moment, it's probably because the immortal ascension tunnel was opened by someone else. Thus, when you damaged the seal flag, the cultivators sense immortal ascension calling. The middle-aged man seemed to be very patient talking with Emo, probably because he hadn't spoken to anyone for a long time. After he answered all those questions, the middle-aged man said, I've let you know what you should. Now open your soul and let me make a mark. Then do as I tell you and seal those seal flags. I believe if you do these, Master will let you go. Emo looked at the man pitifully, to be honest. I'm not scared of you. The reason I'm speaking with you is because I feel you're very pitiful. I can tell you for sure that the seal flags didn't just seal the calling to immortal ascension, it also stopped immortal ascension itself. Believe it or not, up to you. Your master used all means necessary to stop Luo Yu cultivators from immortal ascension and is even willing to slaughter the entire continent. Do you think he would let you go in the future? You're naive like a fool. The middle-aged man heard this and dazed. After a while, he murmured, impossible. This is impossible. He swore to me, cultivators can't just make oath casually. He swore. Emo was confused. Cultivators couldn't just make simple oaths. Unless it was some extremely powerful cultivator, ordinary cultivators would go through heart demon crisis if they didn't follow their oath. Seeing Emo daze, the middle-aged man sneered. You wanted to alienate me and master. Emo sneered. I would have the time to do that? Don't think of yourself too highly. The man suddenly grabbed at Emo. Since you don't want to open up your soul, then I'll force a mark on you. The middle-aged man just grabbed casually, but Emo felt all the space nearby squeeze at him. This wasn't domain. Emo was shook. This the pressure of spirit chi. Hollow immortal cultivator was this powerful? Emo hacked out with Zisu using illusion cloud Hua mountain strike at full power. Thud. Sword and palm struck each other, rattling the space here. Some purple sword rays even sliced out black crevices. At the same time of the collision, Emo felt a powerful concussion. He really wanted to stop himself, but he still flew back, smashing into the level 9 water separation formation. His dantian rustled and Emo almost spat a mouthful of blood. The next moment, Emo immediately flew up. He knew he was no match for this person. But then, Emo immediately felt a powerful pressure. He was sealed in this space. He set up this water separation formation, but he couldn't go out. Emo realized, when he came into the river, he was already under this man's control. No wonder he wasn't scared that he would get away. He intentionally let him set up the formation, or he wouldn't be able to do it at all. Emo knew that Hollow Immortal must be a huge level above truth realization state, but he didn't expect the gap to be this huge. He couldn't get away, so Emo stopped. Even if he had to fight with his life, it didn't mean he would lose to this guy. He had so many means he hadn't used yet. This Hollow Immortal was more shocked than Emo. He knew Emo was powerful, or he wouldn't be able to slaughter a few 100 million sand soul beasts. That kitchen knife of his is very extraordinary. He didn't expect to be injured by it. He looked at his bloodied hand. He suddenly felt much more sober. He had stayed here for countless years unable to cultivate. He could only just sit here. The thing he didn't want to think of the most was why he stayed here. Emo saw this hollow immortal just look at his palm and have no intention of fighting, so he stopped. He was thinking of how he could kill this hollow immortal. The hollow immortal cultivator suddenly looked at Emo. Do you know my power level? Yes, you're a hollow immortal cultivator. Emo was confused why this guy asked something irrelevant. The middle-aged man nodded. That's right. I'm a hollow immortal cultivator, but I, Xianxia, am no ordinary hollow immortal cultivator. I rarely have a match in the same cultivation level. You can injure me with one strike, meaning that with your power, you can kill ordinary hollow immortal. So, I know there's no need for you to alienate me. He paused and said again, Master told me like this at the time, if Xianxia can keep his oath and stay in the cultivation realm for 12,000 years guarding all of the abyssal riverstone platform, Lu Zhengxuan will never harm him at all. If I disobey this oath, I will be struck by lightning and lose my soul under the divine damnation, never to have a second chance again. He then stared at Emo and asked, Do you think there's a problem with this oath? Emo heard this and immediately sneered, You're really an idiot. There's a few problems with the oath and only you would believe it. What problem? The cultivator's face changed. He clearly realized there was a problem with this oath, but he didn't know where the problem was. Speaking with Xianxia for so long, Emo knew this guy was no evil person and was even too honest. But indeed, that powerful being wouldn't pick a dodgy person to guard this priceless treasure. Emo didn't answer directly and instead asked, The thing you're guarding is very significant, right? Or perhaps only after 12,000 years could it be taken from here? Xianxia nodded. That's right, so I need to wait till 12,000 later. He would come and take it. Then I can return to the immortal realm. Emo said in contempt, What if you left after 11,999 years? Xianxia rebuked. Impossible. I would never leave before 12,000 years. If I don't leave, no one can force me. Oh, were you sealed here by yourself? Emo asked again. No. Xianxia shook his head. Then what if the sealing dimension binding you here disappears? What would happen to you? Ascend immediately. What if before 12,000 years, this seal suddenly disappeared? Can you still stay here? I can't. Xianxia's face seemed extremely bad, but he still said he wouldn't be like this. He made an oath. Emo sneered. Someone who can annihilate the cultivators of an entire cultivation realm would do this? Are you cheating yourself? Plus, he doesn't even need to add the time frame of 12,000 years. He just needs to say that you will guard this thing for him, and when he comes your mission would be over. Xianxia's face grew more pale. Emo then said coldly, There's another loophole to this oath. Even if you stuck to the 12,000th year, you would still be dead for sure. He looked at Emo and didn't have the mood to care about the second loophole. Since that person intentionally left loophole, it meant he wanted him dead. That person swore, he, Lu Zhengxuan, wouldn't harm you at all, but what if someone else came and harmed you? Hearing this, Xianxia completely realized he was used for more than 10,000 years. Lu Zhengxuan, you're such a high-up figure, but you trick someone with no fame like me. I hate you. Xianxia gritted his teeth. Emo looked at him in confusion. What are you hating about? I'm a level 9 formation grandmaster. I'm going to go out. After I break the binding space, you can leave. When you reach the immortal realm, you can find a place to cultivate and bid your time to get revenge. Xianxia clutched his head painfully. You don't understand. I don't have a chance for revenge. I'm certain that if I immortal Ascension, I would be controlled immediately. You haven't been to the immortal realm, you don't know how powerful he is. And I would bring trouble to my sect. He fell into a long silence before looking up at Emo. Friend, I want you to help me. I'm dead for sure. I can't leave here at all, and I can't ascend into the immortal realm. So, one day when you ascend into the immortal realm, please bring a message for me to Extreme Wind Heaven Void Lake Sect. Then he shook his head. Never mind. Even if I tell the sect, it would just bring trouble. Plus, you would never be able to leave here. Emo shook his head. This Xianxia was so hesitant and indecisive. No wonder he would be schemed. But Emo didn't believe that there was no chance he could leave here. He even left the void fissure. How could this space binding confine him? I'm definitely not going to let Lu Zhengxuan take this. I'm going to self-destruct now. I can only say sorry to you. Although I shouldn't have tricked you down here, but even if I don't self-destruct, you still won't be able to leave. When Lu Zhengxuan comes, you would be dead for sure. Xianxia said. Emo waved his hand. Wait. I'm going to take the thing you're guarding first. Plus, I haven't found a way out yet. There was no way Emo could help him. He might as well get the chaos item away first. Xianxia shook his hand. You don't need to look for an exit. Even if you try countless years here, you won't be able to leave. Do you know the power of Lu Zhengxuan? Perhaps if you cultivate for another few 100,000 years, you might reach 1/10 of his power level. As for that thing, don't even think about it. Even if you can go out, you would die for sure having that thing. Even if Lu Zhengxuan doesn't kill you, others will. Even with Lu Zhengxuan's terrifying power and status, he doesn't dare to keep that thing by his side. Emo still wanted to persuade Xianxia, but his power completely burst out. The entire riverbed space was shaking with this. The power of hollow immortal self-destruct was very powerful indeed. Emo knew it was impossible to stop the self-destruct with his current power. He cursed this Xianxia for being an idiot. He could die himself, but he wouldn't even let him take the chaos item. What a bastard. He couldn't even take his storage ring. Space went chaotic. Emo knew that if he stayed here, he would be asking to die. Emo went into the golden page world without hesitation. Xianxia saw Emo suddenly completely disappear before him. He dazed, but before he could understand, his body completely exploded apart. Rumble. A terrifying explosion sounded. The stone platform was blasted apart. Even though Xianxia stayed at the cultivation realm for countless years, his immortal essence was still very powerful. Emo's level 9 formation tore apart like paper. A hollow immortal self-destruction probably wouldn't cause a ripple in space in the immortal realm, but in the cultivation realm, it was truly astonishing. Water filled the place immediately. Emo threw out a surveillance formation. The explosion disappeared and only a split-apart stone platform remained. There was still not a drop of water around there. Emo immediately knew that the space below it was probably sealed too. Emo appeared on the platform. Xianxia was gone, but Emo found in surprise that the space started to loosen. This meant that he could go out. This also proved his guess was right. This space ceiling would definitely loosen before 12,000 years. But pity that chaos item was destroyed by the self-destruction. Emo shook his head and wanted to leave, but suddenly, he saw a semicircle transparent restriction below the platform. There was an inch-tall sapling. Was this the thing that emitted chaos chi? Emo looked at this sapling. It was more like a sprouted herb. Emo really couldn't connect this herb to a chaos treasure, but it emitted the chaos chi. No matter what, he would take it first. The restriction was tough, but after Xianxia's self-destruction and Emo's expertise in formation and restriction, it was removed quickly. Emo dug out the earth near the sapling and sent it all to the Golden Page World. Other people couldn't have this, but he could. Golden Page World was a chaos item itself. Other than him, no one could send his spirit sense inside. Emo immediately felt the chaos chi here disappear. Then, he hacked with Zisu and the space binding was dissipated. River water splashed back in, filling the place. At this moment, Emo stood above the river but didn't leave immediately. He started to take his formation flags. After all that, Emo released Blue Moon and disappeared. In the depth of the Ice God Palace, a blue-dressed young girl scurried along a pebble-stone path to a room on the right. Before she got to the door opened. A yellow-robed girl waved to her at the door, signaling the blue-dressed girl to hurry. When the blue-dressed girl went in, the yellow-robed girl hurriedly used a few formation flags and asked worriedly, "What happened, Ting Ting? Why did I hear that the palace lord almost killed you today?" "Sister Chi, keep your voice low," the blue-robed girl said worriedly. "It's fine, this is the restriction formation disc my master gave me. No one would be able to hear it." "Just what happened? I'm so worried," Chi-Chi said again. The palace lord left and gave over management to me and the big elder. Sister Chi-Chi, what do we do? Ting-Ting patted her chest and said. Chi-Chi frowned. Ting-Ting. Tell me first, why did the palace lord want to kill you? Ting-Ting collected her thoughts before saying, the maid Xiao Ji who guarded the soul cards, so second young master Lang Yu's soul card shatter. What? Lang Yu is dead? Chi-Chi asked in shock. Ting-Ting nodded, yes. Palace lord wants to kill Xiao Ji. I begged for mercy and I almost angered the palace lord. Chi-Chi said angrily, they don't treat weaker cultivators here like human. They have no human rights at all. Sister Chi-Chi, keep quiet. If people hear us, we're over. I heard that palace lord said she and big elder might immortal Ascension. After they left, I will be the palace lord. I'm definitely going to change this rule. Ting-Ting added. Is this real? Chi-Qi asked happily. Ting-Ting nodded. The palace lord told the other elders to help me, so don't get too happy. My authority will be limited. Chi-Chi said in contempt, you're really dumb. Those truth realization state elders aren't interested in the Ice God Palace authority at all. They just care about cultivation and resource. We're young, but where do we come from? The birthplace of political fighting. Simply put, draw close, separate them and strike them individually. But most importantly, we have to improve our own power. What do you mean? Ting-Ting asked. You're really... Draw close to those powerful cultivators, open up cultivation resource. Don't be stingy with that. These cultivators don't refer to the truth realization state elders but the middle class. You must be respectful to those truth realization state elders before your power reach a certain level. Meanwhile, find opportunities to make the truth realization state elders have bad impressions of the two sons. Meanwhile, create conflict between the two sons and the people loyal to them. Then, use the opportunities to strike some weaker cultivators who support those two. Chi-Chi said. Ting-Ting looked at Chi-Chi in shock. Sister Chi-Chi, you've really changed a lot. Chi-Chi sighed, this is all forced. If I don't change, I die. I don't have Brother Lin's power. Otherwise, once you become Palace Lord, you can do what you want. Sigh, Brother Lin is even weaker than us here. He cultivates ancient martial arts. We are immortal cultivators. Ting-Ting sighed. I just want to find my mum, but I still don't know how she is. I'm really worried. Clearly, these two girls were from Earth. Ting-Ting was Yun Bing's daughter and Chi-Chi was a Ning's sister in Ji-Chi. They were rather lucky. As soon as they came to South Peace State, they were chosen by Ice God Palace. However, Yun Bing deigned to come with them. Ting-Ting's talent was very absurd, and with her beauty, she was favored by the Palace Lord and became the young Palace Lord. Chi-Chi sneered, what is there to worry about? Palace Lord Yin controls all the power. Her two other useless sons might not come back too like the second son. I'm just golden core state and you're just nascent soul state. We're too weak. When our power is up, we can decide whatever. Yemo flew rapidly on the way. This time he didn't encounter anything at the Abyssal River. In a short 2 days, the Abyssal River ended. Yemo landed. He didn't know if this was North Far State, but he didn't see the sand stairway like in the South Peace State and West Extreme State. Yemo searched carefully nearby with his spirit sense. Half an hour later, Yemo finally found a stealth formation. He was certain that even if Quan Lan came, she wouldn't be able to find this stealth formation unless the person was a level 9 formation grandmaster like him. There was an exit seal in the stealth formation, but Yemo didn't break it. He didn't need to break it to go out. He just threw down a few formation flags and easily left. Water flowed in from all directions and Yemo separated the water from him with cultivation essence. He knew he appeared below water again. The water here didn't seem to very deep. When he submerged out, he was dazed. He was familiar with this place, he had been here before. It was Dual Heart Valley, Dual Heart Lake, the place where Haitong stayed. It was the most beautiful location in the Dual Heart Valley. Yemo didn't expect this place would lead to the Abyssal River. Thinking about Haitong, he thought of Ao Qiandai. I wonder what happened to that woman. Yemo said, and then had decided to check on Haitong first before seeing if he could annihilate the thing sealed at the All Her Mountain ranges. Yemo believed his current power would only be higher than Chu Xiaoi. With his expertise in formation and seals, he had to try no matter what. His MOU and Yemo were all in North Far State. He couldn't feel secure having a disaster that could break loose at any time. But when Emo released his spirit sense, he dazed. Haitong's residence was demolished. The entire valley was demolished. Emo immediately realized that Dual Heart Valley was annihilated. Not a single cultivator remained. Who had the power to do this? He and Tang Mengrao came here before, and this would be advertised out by the sect. Now that they were still annihilated, it meant that the culprits didn't fear him and Tang Mengrao. Who was it? Even if he wasn't here, did they not fear the Jade Woman sect? It's an 8-star sect. Emo was certain that Wang Yu sect wouldn't do this. Purely because Shandi didn't dare to. Emo flew into the air and felt the strangeness of space here. It didn't seem to flow smoothly. It was as though it was broken and then filled. Emo immediately thought of the 9-headed void devouring bug. Only it had the gift of devouring space. Only an extremely powerful cultivator would notice devoured space, and Emo was that cultivator. How can there be that here? Emo released Blue Moon and disappeared. Emo immediately flew to the All-Herb mountain ranges. If no one touched the seal, it should remain intact for 100 years. The tunnel was still shut, but when Emo saw his spirit sense could scan into the hexagonal hall without resistance, his face changed. Emo's face was really bad as he stood inside the collapsed hexagonal hall. The marks were fresh. Emo scanned around and saw half of a necklace. Emo picked it up. It was half of the necklace Chu Xiaoyi left behind. It was exactly the same, and Emo thought of Ao Qiandai immediately. Haitong said this was very important to Ao Qiandai. This meant that Ao Qiandai came here and something happened. Emo picked up this half of the necklace and flung his hand out. The block tunnel were opened. The hall with the fake orbs were still there. Emo passed it and saw the space behind. It looked very ordinary now. Emo instantly came to the sealing sacrificial platform. The seal was indeed broken. The thing that was sealed had left. Emo thought of the necklace and immediately knew that it definitely had something to do with Ao Qiandai. She was a mad woman. She could bring a beast tide to attack North Far State. What else couldn't she do? She was not only crazy but also dumb. She didn't even know what was sealed here. If she was devoured by the 9-headed void devouring bug, then it served her right. Hello, little thing, long time no see. I knew you were no ordinary thing before, and now indeed you came here. A voice suddenly appeared behind Emo. Emo turned around and looked at this young cultivator, Shui Yufeng. Long time no see, you found yourself a good-looking body. Your truth realization state, tertiary stage. How is that possible? Shui Yufeng said bitterly. Shui Yufeng's face burst red, and replied, even if I'm cauldron-filling state, I won't be weaker than you. If I abandon this body, I can still kill you. Oh! Emo said casually and suddenly rose his power. Space immediately condensed with this. This was his domain. He didn't use cultivation essence. It was his will. Shui Yufeng dazed, and before he could react, Emo's cultivation essence giant hand grabbed over and flung him up like a chicken. Then, he said calmly, Shui Yufeng, I really want to know how you are going to kill me by giving up your body. You? Shui Yufeng's face burst red, but he couldn't say a thing. Emo casually threw him down and said slowly, I would have killed you long time ago if you didn't guard this seal for so many years. Shui Yufeng stared at Emo in shock. Your power has surpassed Chu Xiaoyi. How is that possible? Emo just asked, did you break the seal? Shui Yufeng immediately cried out, God knows which bastard did it? I've guarded the seal for so many years. How can I do that? If I wanted to do this, I wouldn't wait till now. For this seal, I was stressed every day. He sneaked a glance at Emo, seeing that Emo still didn't talk. Shui Yufeng didn't dare to keep bullshitting and smiled. You know, I treated you quite well. I gave you the tail feather of the golden perch and the 5-element mobility. Emo sneered. Why don't you say you gave me a bottle of heaven glory pill? Before he didn't know if there was a problem with the pill, but now that he was truth realization state and level 9 pill king, he immediately knew the problem with it. There was a spirit sense inside, and if he ate it, the spirit sense chi would stick to him. Shui Yufeng smiled awkwardly. Look, I like your personality, and I was scared I wouldn't be able to see you again. Plus, it's just a spirit sense chi. You can remove it in a second with your current power. Emo asked again, "What are you doing back here?" "Quite coincidental. As soon as the seal broke you came back here." Shui Yufeng quickly explained again. "This really has nothing to do with me. You know the jade slip I left behind. I wanted to take something I forgot to take before seeing that the seal is broken." "What is it?" Emo knew that this guy was probably here for the painting, but he still asked. "It's just a painting. I left in a rush and forgot to take it. This time I happened to come by, so I—" Shui Yufeng explained. "Oh." Emo said, "Go take it. I still have a few questions for you." Shui Yufeng quickly said, "No need, no need. I suddenly feel that I know all the 5-element magic inside. I'm very free right now, ask me whatever you like." His spirit sense already saw that the painting was gone. How could he not know that Emo took it? Shui Yufeng's face went awkward. He didn't know the first question Emo asked, so he guessed. "I think it's either Chu Jiuyu or Chu Xian." Emo changed a question, knowing this guy was so bad at lying. "Do you know what's sealed inside?" "This I really know." But then, his face looked more awkward as it showed his previous answer was a guess. Seeing that Emo wasn't angry, Shui Yufeng breathed easy and said, "It seals Hong Yixing, that monster. He has a 9-headed void-devouring bug. It's very terrifying. It's an ancient bug that can devour space. With the help of that bug, even Chu Xiaoyi is no match for Hong Yixing. I don't know how he tricked Hong Yixing here and sealed him, but I owed him. I promised to guard this place for him for 500 years and he could give me an immortal curl flower. But I waited countless 500 years, but I still didn't see him. Thus, I had no choice but to possess someone." Emo nodded. "Chu Xiaoyi Qianbei didn't intentionally trick you because he already died at West Extreme State. He arranged for Chu Xian to deal with you, but he also disappeared too." "What?" Emo didn't expect that Shui Yufeng's eyes actually went red for this. After a long while, he said in disbelief, "Who can kill him? His power is pretty much Luo Yu Continent #1. Emo thought that without the Golden Page world, Chu Xiaoyi went to the formation heart of the 37th domain. He was indeed invincible. Chu Jiu was his disciple. He probably didn't even reach truth realization state at the time of Chu Xiaoyi's death. Who killed him? I need to visit his grave. Shui Yufeng completely forgot his life was in Emo's hands. Although he cursed Chu Xiaoyi for not being trustworthy, but Chu Xiaoyi meant quite a lot to him. He explained, "Brother Xiaoyi is the only person I respect. His character is unparalleled." Emo hadn't seen Chu Xiaoyi before, but from how he devoted his entire life to North Far State, he also respected Chu Xiaoyi. Emo hesitated for a moment and said, "I'm guessing Chu Qianbei was harmed by people from above." Emo asked directly, "Do you know where Hong Yixing took that disgusting bug to?" Shui Yufeng quickly answered, "I know he went to Long Grave Hill and roared for a while and then annihilated Wang Yu sect before heading south." "Wang Yu sect is annihilated too?" Emo was shook and immediately thought of Peihai City. This guy didn't go there right. Just when Emo wanted to leave, Shui Yufeng said, "Yes, I've been keeping watch of him. He said at Long Grave Hill, he was going to eat alive whoever dared to take his Mist Lotus Heart fire." "Hong Yixing put the Mist Lotus Heart fire there?" Emo asked in surprise. When he took the Mist Lotus Heart fire, he guessed someone had put it there. He realized what the fire-eating bug demon meant when he said Old Man Hong. It was Hong Yixing. With this, Shui Yufeng immediately knew that Emo took it. Emo was very desperate thinking about Peihai City. He released Blue Moon and just wanted to head there when he suddenly asked, "Is Hong Yixing a guy who wears a gray robe and has a pale face?" Shui Yufeng's spirit sense also scanned Hong Yixing, who was a few thousand km away, and immediately said, "That's right, it's him." Hong Yixing seemed to be hunting a cultivator. That cultivator's speed was on par with Hong Yixing. Emo released Blue Moon and headed over without hesitation. He also felt strange. There was actually someone who could escape from Hong Yixing in North Far State. Seeing Emo chase over, Shui Yufeng licked his lips. There's a good show to watch. After Emo refined Blue Moon again, its speed had surpassed half Immortal artifact. Emo quickly pulled close to them. Both Hong Yixing and the one being chased felt Emo's presence and scanned their spirit sense over. Hong Yixing was furious. It had always been him who chased people who dared to chase him. He didn't believe Yimo was a friend. He never had friends, only enemies. If it was some ordinary person, he would have sent his 9-headed void-devouring bug to finish things up, but Yimo's speed was extremely fast and he was truth realization state tertiary stage. He didn't want his 9-headed void-devouring bug to risk it. But seeing Yimo's magic artifact to be beyond half immortal artifact, he was immediately touched. He gave up chasing that cultivator and stopped to wait for Yimo. Seeing this, the cultivator didn't keep running and watched here too. Not running from this cruel Hong Yixing, Yimo approved of this cultivator. However, this cultivator saw he was standing off with Hong Yixing and came closer instead. Shui Yufeng, who followed, also came here. He called out from a distance, "Old Demon Hong. Long time no see. Shui Yufeng, I was troubled not being able to find you. You've got balls to appear before me. Do you think Chu Xiaoyi would still be here?" Hong Yixing said furiously. He really wasn't afraid of Chu Xiaoyi appearing here. He was only sealed because he was not careful before. Shui Yufeng sneered. "I sealed you for 10,000 years. How can I be scared of a guy who relies on his bug PFT? Haha. So you sealed this bastard, satisfying." The cultivator who was chased before sneered too. Hong Yixing was extremely furious. "Sealed by you? Do you have a face or not? A petty bastard barely surviving with his essence spirit for countless years in a small temple has the face to say he sealed me. I'll let you be pet food for 9-9. Then, Hong Yixing waved and a 3-headed 9-headed void-devouring bug instantly appeared by his side. Shui Yufeng knew he was a far cry from Hong Yixing, so he retreated again now that Hong Yixing attacked. Die! Hong Yixing punched his fist at Yimo. He didn't even use his 9-headed void-devouring bug. This was the first time Yimo had seen someone attack him with a fist. It was normal-sized when Hong Yixing first punched, but in the blink of an eye, it was the size of a bucket. When it was above Yimo's head, it was a huge metal hammer that was 10 meters wide. Shui Yufeng and that cultivator retreated quickly. Hong Yixing was on par with Chu Xiaoyi. Yimo wasn't scared of him but wouldn't underestimate him. His cultivation essence burst out into Zisu, forming a purple ray hacking at Hong Yixing's fist. Crack, this sound made Yimo think Zisu didn't hack a fist but a magic artifact tougher than his Zisu. Hong Yixing and Yimo flew back at the same time. Yimo's cultivation essence rustled. He was shook. Hong Yixing's cultivation essence was on par with him. But Hong Yixing was more shocked than Yimo. With his dense cultivation essence, he wasn't even scared of a hollow immortal. The only thing was that his cultivation essence couldn't compare with immortal essence. He didn't expect the invincible cultivation essence he had from a lucky fortune didn't get any advantage with Yimo. He even suffered a little. Hong Yixing looked at the blood gash on his fist and suddenly released a gray bead. He used multiple spells and this bead, like his fist, instantly expanded. Rumble. Countless gray mist spurred out, instantly covering the surround area. Shui Weifeng and the other cultivator retreated quickly. Even a truth realization state cultivator was dead for certain against such terrifying corrosive mist. The two looked at each other and clearly were ready to run. They would run as soon as Hong Yixing killed Yimo. Who is this guy? He seems very powerful, but why did he get devoured by that gray mist immediately? Even I can't get away from that mist. He's dead for sure. The running cultivator asked Shui Yufeng. Shui Yufeng sighed. A cocky guy. I thought he was powerful and scared me quite a lot. But he doesn't seem to be able to withstand a hit. Then, he looked at the cultivator and said, "Brother, you're not bad too. You were hunted by old Demon Hong for so long, and yet you decided to stay and watch the show like me." Seeing Shui Yufeng patronize him, the cultivator sneered. "If it wasn't for that bastard's 9-headed void-devouring bug, how can I be afraid of him?" "Don't bullshit," Shui Yufeng said in contempt. "Can you stop his bead? Lil brother, get ready to run." Shui Yufeng took out a transmission rune. There were the subtle screams of countless souls in the gray mist. These gray mists not only had the powerful effect of devouring essence spirit, but had a greater corrosive effect. But Yimo wasn't scared. His essence spirit was very stable. He didn't even fear the demon prison 3-birth bridge. How could he be scared of this? As for the corrosion, He had already shielded himself with his powerful domain. Even if he didn't, it wouldn't be able to do anything to him. He was a God-state body refinement cultivator. EMO called out Shadowless without hesitation. These things were top-grade nourishment for Shadowless. He couldn't waste it. Seeing EMO get devoured by the mist, Hong Yixing sneered, "Cocky Wanbei. Letting you die like that is too easy on you. Devour." Nine-headed void devouring bug was tired of waiting and charged at EMO like crazy with Hong Yixing's order. He felt space was missing. EMO knew this was the nine-headed void devouring bug's gift, devouring space. If it was nine-headed, EMO would ran as far away as possible, but he wasn't scared of a mere three-head. When he expanded his domain, he also let out the defensive power of God state around him. Crack! The three mouths bit onto EMO's domain at the same time. However, this time space wasn't devoured, it just rattled. This was just his natural ability. It didn't mean he was more powerful than beings who could tear open dimensions. Facing against EMO's powerful domain, it was immediately limited. Before Hong Yixing could be shocked with EMO's domain, he stared at Shadowless in shock. Shadowless bug. More than half of his gray mist had been devoured. Shadowless was like a mist-sucking machine. But at this moment, Shadowless stopped and screamed. There was an intense desire to devour from Shadowless. It dashed to EMO and stared at the nine-headed void devouring bug that was countless times bigger than him. It seemed very funny that a pea-sized thing stared at something 10,000 times bigger than it and wanted to devour it. But this wasn't funny at all. Void devouring bug already saw Shadowless and released the space he couldn't devour. He started to retreat and there was fear in his eyes. The nine-headed void devouring bug was fearful. Shadowless hadn't grown, but so wasn't he. Could devour space, but Shadowless could devour it. Even if it devoured Shadowless first, Shadowless could devour it from the inside. Seeing Shadowless about to devour the nine-headed void devouring bug, EMO felt disgusted and quickly called, "Go back to devouring the gray mist. If you eat that disgusting thing, you don't need to stay with me anymore." He had never seen something more disgusting than the nine-headed void devouring bug, and yet Shadowless wanted to devour the nine-headed void devouring bug. There was a sliver of dissatisfaction in Shadowless's eyes, and it deigned to want to retreat. Seeing this, EMO expanded his domain and Zissou brought a vibrant purple ray hacking at nine-headed void devouring bug. Instead of letting Shadowless eat this bug, he might as well kill it. Although the nine-headed void devouring bug had 3 heads, it was countless times weaker than nine-headed. Crack! The nine-headed void devouring bug reacted a little slow and one of its head was sliced off. Before it could leave, EMO burned with fire. The head instantly turned to dust and so did the essence spirit on its head. The nine-headed void devouring bug screamed and spat a gray blood mist. 9-9. Hong Yixing saw this and called out in shock. He was immediately going to bring nine-headed void devouring bug back. The nine-headed void devouring bug had his essence spirit shards. Even he felt dizzy after EMO destroyed a head. Mist Lotus Heart Fire. Hong Yixing looked hatefully at EMO and said word by word. "So you stole the Mist Lotus Heart Fire I left at Long Grave Hill. I said I'm going to eat you?" EMO stopped him in contempt. "Hong, stop bluffing. I already cut a head off your disgusting bug. I want to see how many more heads I can cut off. By the way, the nine-headed void devouring bug soul at South Mountain Market also belongs to you, right? I killed it too. I've cut 2 heads off your bug already. I want to see how many more I can cut." Then, EMO yelled at Shadowless, "Hurry up and finish eating. Stop wasting time." Hong Yixing only knew now that EMO killed another of his essence spirit shards. He was furious and couldn't even be bothered talking this time. He slapped himself in the forehead and a crack opened up. Black rays emitted from his forehead. They were rapid like lightning and instantly covered this entire space. EMO had seen this before when he killed Mo Chenli. He used the evil soul strands. Hong Yixing's ones were countless times stronger than Mo Chenli. The strands seemed to have its own soul. At this moment, Shadowless finished devouring the gray mist and even ate the bead. However, it didn't charge up at the evil soul strands. It couldn't devour that yet. Those strands charged at EMO and Shadowless. Shui Yufeng and the other cultivator saw Shadowless had finished devouring the mist. Powerful indeed, Shui Weifeng said and quietly put away the transmission rune in his hands, but as soon as he did, Hong Yixing released the evil soul strands. Evil soul strands! The two exclaimed at the same time. They had never encountered this, but they knew its power. Cultivating this needed countless tortured souls. It was an extremely hard demonic cultivation method. The higher the level, the higher the requirement on the soul was. Where could this young cultivator go now? Shui Weifeng put that transmission back in his hands quietly. Emo didn't let Shadowless charge up. These old monsters who had lived for countless years were indeed powerful. Against an opponent of the same level, Emo had no habit of using defensive means. He waved his hand and lightning swords were released. Rumble. Thunder cracked in the sky. Hong Yixing heard this and looked up into the distance in shock. Before he could react, countless lightning swords fell. Emo's spirit sense was more powerful now, and the lightning swords rained densely like rain. Countless lightning swords struck the evil soul strands. Terrified screams sounded from the evil soul strands, and they twisted and contorted before turning to dust in the black lightning swords. It was this weak. Emo dazed and realized. His lightning sword had reached a very high level. Those evil soul strands were formed from tortured souls. They naturally feared lightning. Lightning element. Hong Yixing's face changed. He didn't expect Emo was lightning spirit root and such absurd attack. For the first time, Hong Yixing felt a little cold. He had only been out for a few days and didn't encounter some Chu Xiaoyi, but he encountered a young cultivator more absurd than Chu Xiaoyi. At this moment, he wanted to leave. Staying here would only mean he would keep getting countered by Emo. If he didn't leave quickly, he might even be killed. He's actually a lightning element cultivator. Shui Weifeng and the cultivator called out in shock. How could Emo let Hong Yixing run? He knew lightning sword countered the evil soul strands and released even more. With this, Hong Yixing's face looked worse. He knew that if he didn't use his trump card, he wouldn't get the chance to. He raised his hand and a half-gray dagger appeared in his hand. He sliced through the air at Emo with this.